The school ain't open yet. You was 12 years old. No problem. Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. He said the school still ain't open. He was 12 years old. I see you, little crusty ninja. Why don't you shave that crust stash off the top of your lip too, little ninja? Shave that crust stash off the top of your lip, little ninja. Little crusty ass ninja. Talking about he was 12. Your whole family been through public school. Y'all ain't have a problem with it. Shut up. Always trying to go to war with King Kong. Little crusty ninja. Old school ain't open yet. You was 12 years old. No problem. Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. He said the school still ain't open. He was 12 years old. I see you, little crusty ninja. Why don't you shave that crust stash off the top of your lip too, little ninja? Shave that crust stash off the top of your lip, little ninja. Little crusty ass ninja. Talking about he was 12. Your whole family been through public school. Y'all ain't have a problem with it. Shut up. Always trying to go to war with King Kong. Little crusty ninja. Old goon. Cut a path. Somebody said, why Delaware? Another dumbass question. Because we found a school here. That's why Delaware. You little crusty. Shave that crust stash off your lip, homie. Stop dyeing your hair extra black. That hairline ain't coming back, ninja. School ain't open yet. You was 12 years old. The school ain't open yet. You was 12 years old. No problem. Little ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. I see you, little crusty ninja. He said the school still ain't open. He was 12 years old. I see you, little crusty ninja. Why don't you shave that crust stash off the top of your lip too, little ninja? Shave that crust stash off the top of your lip, little ninja. Little crusty ass ninja. Talking about he was 12. Your whole family been through public school. Y'all ain't have a problem with it. Shut up. Always trying to go to war with King Kong. Little crusty ninja. Old goon. Cut a path. Somebody said, why Delaware? Another dumbass question. Because we found a school here. That's why Delaware. You little crusty. Shave that crust stash off your lip, homie. Stop dyeing your hair extra black. That hairline ain't coming back, ninja.
Okay. Alabama Law Scholarly Commons, Faculty Scholarship, 1991, the Marcus Garvey case, a law and power theory analysis of political suppression of human dignity. Stephen H. Hobbs, University of Alabama, School of Law. Okay, so this is a EDU, Alabama Law. Get focused and learn how to source up credible articles. Okay, so I won't read the whole thing. As you can see, it's pretty lengthy, so I'm going to use excerpts out of this. I'm going to get to the meat of it. All right, so just bear with me. It's going to be some reading. Okay. So, as you guys might already know, but I'm going to cover for those who don't. Okay, cool. Marcus Garvey spent many hours reading and studying in London's libraries. Booker T. Washington's autobiography, Up from Slavery, profoundly impressed him. In 1914, Marcus Garvey in Jamaica established the Universal Negro Improvement and Conservation Association, and African Communities League, better known as and commonly known as the UNIA. The ultimate goal of this UNIA was the redemption of Africa from European control. Okay, so Pan Africanists, RBG. Okay, so we like to ask you guys, what are you doing? What's your goal? And you guys make up all type of stuff. Okay, but your leader and the founder of this movement said the goal was the redemption of Africa from European control. So you guys got some superhero tasks. You're gonna need Iron Man, you're gonna need Thanos. This is what you guys are doing. This is what Pan Africanism is all about. It's about redeeming Africa from European control. Good luck. Garvey's vision was that of a free and independent Africa governed by the best and the brightest blacks from all over the world who would determine the destiny of people of color. I mean, this just sounds so fantasy, so comic book. On the African continent, the UNIA would build a national state capable of perfecting human rights and dignity of people of African descent and providing a refuge for them. Garvey concluded. His name might as well be Gary with his dream. Okay, so anyway, Garvey established. Okay, so Garvey established the Black Star Line in June 1919 to operate a worldwide network of steamships, emulating the successful white-owned steamship companies. Garvey's plans for the Black Star Line included providing passage for blacks to the reclaimed homelands in Africa, providing a financial base for support of the UNIA movement, and earning respect for black enterprises through a successful showing of the UNIA flag. Garvey offered shares of stocks in the new company at $5 per share, and within a year, the line had raised $610,000 and owned 3 ships. Despite this success, the line seemed doomed almost from its beginning. Down goes Fraser. Okay, so this is 1919, so $610,000, probably like 60 million. Okay, so anyway, with the Black Star Line, Garvey's own star rose and fell. Rather than providing a financial base for the UNIA, rather than forming something that produces money continuously, the Black Star Line succeeded in draining the UNIA's assets, dragging the organization's other operations under with it. Garvey was forced to sell off property and equipment. Beset by problems, both internal and external, Garvey attempted to keep his fledgling steamship line afloat through the sale of more stock. Okay, this sale of stock, or more precisely, Garvey's stock solicitation through the mail, led to his arrest, conviction, and eventual deportation for mail fraud. Get him gone. Okay. So Garvey's indictment coincided with a vigorous Garvey Must Go campaign. Garvey must go. Garvey must go. Spearheaded by several prominent Negro leaders who vehemently opposed Garvey's programs. The attacks centered on the allegations that Garvey was a charlatan, bent on milking the poor, ignorant masses of black people. Don't scam artists, con artists, be fraudsters, go after the weak, unsuspected people. Garvey's own mismanagement, Garvey's own mismanagement of the Black Star Line and his overly optimistic declarations, that's called pseudo, of how close the race was to achieving the repatriation of Africa. Fed the Garvey must go. So basically, he was acting like we're almost there. The promised land's around the corner. Just keep sending us money. Just keep sending us money. Any day now, any year now, the school will be built. I'm sorry, I meant steamship. This sounds familiar. Just keep sending me money. Cash at me. Zelle, PayPal. Keep sending money any day. We're going to get there. So Garvey was selling the same dream as some other folks today. Any day now, just keep sending your money. Any day now, we will be back in Africa. We will have a school for boys. Okay, so this led to these lies led or fed the Garvey must go hysteria. So today, we got other scam artists with these dreams of building this school for all African boys and girls across the world to be successful doctors and lawyers and scientists and superheroes. This has been going on for a long time too, with no results. Okay, and now people are calling for that guy's head. So this is just normal. Garvey also became the black media's target for character assassination. W.E.B. Du Bois wrote an article critically evaluating the Black Star Line's finances, questioning the existence of worthless ships and calling to task the habit of selling passenger tickets on non-existent ships scheduled to sail to Liberia. So W. Du Bois was calling the scam in real time. He was basically saying, stop the cap. You got all these folks buying tickets to worthless ships, non-existent ships, so-called scheduled to sail to Liberia, which is part of the title. Okay, we were sold here by tethers just to sail back. From Africa, we were sold here by tethers just for a tether to try to sell us back. But this sell is SAIL. Okay. Du Bois accused Garvey of robbing his investors. What did Du Bois accuse Garvey of? Robbing his investors, defrauding, scamming his investors, dishonesty, a lack of knowledge and experience, and of using the males in furtherance of a scheme to defraud and conspiring to do so. Is this unbiased Ron? Is this J. Edgar? Or is this W. Du Bois? Now, keep in mind, W. Du Bois went to Durham, North Carolina. He witnessed firsthand Black Wall Street. He wrote a book. What's it called? Black Reconstruction, where he focused on Black Wall Street. So he's seen success. He's seen our success. He's seen how it was done, and it was not fleeing the country. He's seen it firsthand. So when he looks at Marcus Garvey and these crazy get rich quick sell pitches, he like, yo, we don't got to do that. The model is actually over there and over here and over there. We can be successful right here. Why is this guy selling a dream? Selling, SELLING and SAILING. Both are dreams. Okay. So Marcus Garvey was outed in real time, just like the other so-called scammer today is being outed in real time. Okay. So let's go on. In a New York News editorial, Garvey was accused of playing on the prejudice and imagination of blacks and having seduced from them hundreds of thousands of dollars and squandered it upon self-glorification and visionary projects. So a lot of folks like to play on our personal experiences with white supremacy. Our, oh man, white man gonna do this, white man gonna do that, and then somebody come and just take that to another degree and take your money. The editorial referred to Garvey as a despotic dreamer and a menace to his people, a menace to society and this country, who was not only bankrupting his race, but fast leading it to untimely bloodshed and suicide. Harsh words from black leaders, but true. Additionally, in the white media, Garvey was, so now the white media is covering Garvey actions. Everybody's just tired of this scammer. Okay. White media, Garvey was portrayed as a racial agitator, stirring up hatred against whites. Still another major line of attack focused on Garvey's plan to send black people back to Africa, which was portrayed as a foolish effort to get back to the jungle. That's white folks, racist rant. Okay. So anyway, A.P. Randolph. Get used to that name. It's a name that you're unfamiliar with, but you'll know who he is by the end of this live and how important he was. A.P. Randolph ridiculed Garvey's scheme of conquering Africa for Negroes. So he was like, you gonna do what? You gonna go to Africa and strip European powers of their power with 3 steamship? Like, what? Yo, what? Declaring that the Garveyites had neither the brains nor the capital to run a steamship line, much less build an empire. And again, so it's not in this report, but reports definitely said that Garvey had people who had no experience with selling a ship, okay, trying to operate the ship and just we're sinking them. Okay, so A.P. Randolph, or A. Philip Randolph, said Garveyites neither had the brains nor the capital to run a steamship line, much less build an empire. So, I mean, everybody knew that this guy was a joke and a scammer. Additionally, several state corporation commissions concerned themselves with Garvey's compliance with state security laws. Uh-oh. Garvey entered a guilty plea to the charge of violating the Illinois blue sky laws and was fined $100. Did you guys know that? When I asked, was Garvey's license practice, was Garvey stocks license, all that stuff he's doing? This is why I asked that question. Additionally, several state corporation commissions concerned themselves with Garvey's compliance with state security laws. Security, that's stocks. Okay. Garvey entered a guilty plea to the charge of violating the Illinois blue sky laws and was fined $100. Garvey was also investigated by the Virginia State Corporation Commission. Now, I failed to read Garvey's background in Jamaica. He worked for a printing machine, so he knew how to print fake stock certificates. Okay. Anyway, the U.S. government assumed that Garvey's business program was a fraud. Government surveillance reports discussing the investigation of the Black Star Line described Garvey as a get-rich-quick artist. Blacks who opposed Garvey painted him as a con artist, and statements to this effect were made to government agents and black publications. Yeah. We were Charleston White before Charleston White. We pointed out this savage, this predator, law officials. Y'all gonna let him do this to us? Are y'all serious? We already got to deal with y'all white supremacists, y'all race soldiers. But you're gonna let a tether come from over here and practice these illegal practices amongst us to set us back even further? All right. A significant portion of the intelligence on Garvey was gathered by blacks who were either agents, informants, or UNIA infiltrators. Ooh. Okay. Garvey was portrayed as a predator, fomenting racial prejudice and preying upon the ignorant masses of black people. The task of the judicial system was to see that justice was pursued on behalf of those exploited by this tiger. He was called a tiger. Oh my God. Because they were saying he was preying on unsuspected, black or uneducated victims. He was a predator. Garvey proceeded pro se at the trial. So did you know that Garvey represented himself in court? He didn't go get a lawyer, all those black dollars, and he ain't spend none of it on his legal team. He decided to represent himself. Oh boy. Oh boy. Plebiscite Babel. So Marcus Garvey went with plebiscite Babel to represent himself and defend him of these serious charges. Although he was not entirely proficient in his self advocacy, he demonstrated a significant level of skill in defending himself. The U.S. government viewed him as dangerous and acknowledged his ability to affect an audience. The gift of gab. The government may have viewed him as a fraud, but he was a man who possessed the intellect and ability sufficient to accomplish a sophisticated program of empowerment. So he's a fool, but he's dangerous. As evidenced by the money and time the government expended on its surveillance of Garvey, the United States government took him seriously. So they knew he was a fool, but because he has influence, he can influence the minds to do some goofy stuff. He was seen as a domestic threat, especially with the report says hundreds of thousands of followers. You can't take that guy lightly. You see what happened with Jim Jones. Okay, so Garvey did admit his managerial and planning mistakes and took full responsibility for them. False representations about the Black Star Line had also been made. False representations. So he took ownership of lying about he owned ships to sell stocks for he did not own. Okay, so he admits. So you guys can't. This is Garvey. Yet many of these were born of over enthusiastic puffery and salesmanship and were made with the best of intentions. So he's saying, yeah, I was a top gifted gabber selling this dream, but I really believed it. Garvey was convicted of mail fraud, sentenced to a term of 5 years in prison, and after President Coolidge commuted his sentence, was deported in 1927. So you got a lot of confusion out there, a lot of confliction on how much time he did and how much time was he convicted of. So there you go, right there. He was sentenced to 5 years, but he was deported within 2 years of his sentence, or after 2 years of his sentence. So that clears up that confusion for you guys. Okay, let's go here next. Okay, so now this is no longer the article. This is I'm referencing Chat GPT. So I asked Chat GPT some questions about Garvey and his movement and his scamming ways, and this is what I got. Garvey's time in the U.S. became a defining period of his career, where he launched programs like the Black Star Line, a shipping company meant to facilitate trade and a return to Africa, and expanded the UNIA's membership base. Though his efforts would later face challenges and controversies, Garvey's impact on the Black nationalist movement was profound. Regarding the regulation of stocks related to Garvey's endeavors, the Black Star Line itself faced several issues, including legal and financial troubles. The company sold stock to fund its ventures, but there were accusations of fraud and mismanagement, and the business ultimately failed. At the time, there wasn't the same level of regulatory oversight of stocks and securities that exists today, and many of Garvey's business ventures faced scrutiny. Okay. The U.S. government became involved in investigating Garvey's activities, which eventually led to his arrest and conviction in 1923 on charges of mail fraud related to the Black Star Line stock sales. His conviction was controversial, and many viewed it as politically motivated. The legal and financial challenges faced by Garvey and his business ventures were part of a larger pattern of difficulty in securing investment and regulation, particularly for organizations led by Black people in the early 20th century America. In short, while stocks related to Garvey ventures were not regulated in the modern sense, they did face legal scrutiny due to accusations of fraud and mismanagement. Okay. Marcus Garvey faced accusations of fraud related to the sale of stocks for the Black Star Line, a shipping company he founded as part of his Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA. The company was intended to provide transportation and trade services between Africa and the Americas, promoting Black self-reliance and fostering economic independence for Black people. Black power. However, Garvey sold stocks to investors, including to the Black community, to fund the construction and operation of ships for the Black Star Line. It was later revealed that the company did not own all the ships it had claimed to own. Scammer alert! Scammer alert! In fact, some of the ships Garvey advertised were either not yet built or not in the possession of the Black Star Line at all. That's either true or false. And if it's true, he's a scammer. And he, of course, J. Edgar Hoover was supposed to swoop down. There were also reports of mismanagement and financial difficulties that led to significant losses for investors. So people who invested in this dream lost their money, obviously. So Marcus Garvey could have been the first Madoff. The Wolf of Wall Street. The Wolf of Black Wall Street. Marcus Garvey, the Wolf of Black Wall Street. Oh boy. The most notable example of this controversy was the SS Phyllis Wheatley, a ship that Garvey claimed to own but did not have full control over, causing suspicion about the legitimacy of the business operations. Okay, that's either true or false. If it's true, scammer alert. Just own the L. Your leader, the founder of Pan-Africanism, was a scammer. In 1923, Garvey was arrested and convicted of mail fraud for selling the stocks under false pretenses related to the Black Star Line. Why was he arrested and convicted? In 1923, Garvey was arrested and convicted of mail fraud for selling the stocks under false pretenses related to the Black Star Line. The trial and conviction were highly controversial, with many believing that Garvey was targeted because of his radical views and advocacy for Black empowerment. Black power! He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, though he served only about 2 years before being deported to Jamaica. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Shame, shame, shame. Is this your, is this your king? Is this your king? This the guy you proud of? The case involving the Black Star Line remains one of the most debated aspects of Garvey's legacy. While there were genuine financial and logistical challenges in running such a bold venture, some critics argue that the charges against him were politically motivated, as Garvey was an influential figure in the Black nationalist movement. This is where you got to understand temperature. Dude, you tether over here from Jamaica. You running from your problems over there. Because Jamaica was dealing with colonialism at the time he fled. So, dude, you want to free Africa from European powers. Shit, start at your homeland, right? Why don't you free Jamaica of European powers? That should be easy. You outnumbered the white man 20 to 1. But He didn't want to tackle that task, fled to America to fail over here. He didn't want to fail in Jamaica. Well, he did fail in Jamaica. He tried. And they said kick rocks. So he came over here and went to like the poorest unsuspected black folks and pitched his dream. But the point is, he didn't understand our politics. Bro, you came during the time of Jim Crow, my boy. You really thought you had a chance in court? But again, like this is a guy that doesn't, and then he represent himself. Like, dude, really? With plebiscite babble, plebiscite tether babble. Okay, some members of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, UNIA, did express concerns to Marcus Garvey regarding their investments. So they like, yo, what's up? Where's all this money you said we was gonna get? We invest in this ship. You said it was gonna be 100%, 200%, 900% increase in 2 months. In 2 months, okay? They're like, yo, what's good? Pay me. In the early years of the organization, Garvey launched various business ventures, including the Black Star Line, a shipping company designed to promote Black self-sufficiency and economic empowerment. Many UNIA members invested their savings. Okay, this is a predator, man. He took our life savings. Many UNI members invested their savings into these ventures, which were often promoted as a way for Black people to secure economic independence. However, as the Black Star Line struggled financially, some investors grew dissatisfied and frustrated with the lack of returns on their investments. They're like, yo, what's good? Where are my dividends? Garvey, who was passionate about his vision, faced criticism from these members who felt that they had been misled or had lost their money. So his investors were expressing dissatisfaction. Like, yo, I feel like I just lost my money, man. What is this, the Black House? Okay, Garvey defended his actions and the importance of building a Black economic infrastructure, but the financial troubles of the Black Star Line and other business ventures eventually contribute to the organization's decline. Despite the complaints, Garvey's broader influence and his message about Black unity and self-reliance left a lasting impact on the struggle for Black power, Black empowerment. Okay. Many of Marcus Garvey's stock investors in the Black Star Line and other UNIA ventures did feel that they were being defrauded. Is that unbiased, Ron? Okay, I'm just reading it. Particularly as the financial troubles of these projects became more apparent. The Black Star Line in particular was promoted as a major investment opportunity. Sounds like the Wolf of Wall Street. These pump and dumps. So Marcus Garvey pretty much had a pump and dump scheme. That's exactly what they say Vivek did to become a billionaire, but that's exactly what the Wolf of Wall Street did. He created a pump and dump, got the money, dumped the investment. Marcus Garvey he could be seen as the Wolf of Black Wall Street. Pump and dump, pumped it up, left it, took the money and ran. Okay. Where are we? The Black Star Line in particular was promoted as a major investment opportunity. That really means like, yo, invest in this and you're gonna get something, you're gonna get paid. There's some money, man, coming your way. There's a bag. With Garvey encouraging Black Americans to purchase stock in the company to support its mission of Black self-sufficiency and economic independence. However, due to poor management, mismanagement of funds, and technical and operational issues with the shipping line, the company quickly ran into financial difficulties by the time the company was liquidated in 1922. Many of the investors had seen their money vanish, poof. And some believe that Garvey had misled them about the prospects of the business. You think? He said, you guys are going to go to Africa and dethrone the European powers. Okay. This financial this financial failure led to the widespread dissatisfaction among UNIA members and investors. Some accused Garvey of being dishonest or even fraudulent in his handling of the funds. Guess what? I empathize with them, sympathize with them. I say the same thing. Fraud, scammer, dishonest. Garvey himself denied any intentional wrongdoing, insisting that his efforts were in the service of the broader goal of Black liberation and that the financial difficulties were due to factors beyond his control. Nevertheless, the fallout from these failed ventures significantly damaged Garvey's reputation and contributed to his eventual downfall. Down goes Garvey. Garvey must go. The criticism from his investors led to a legal case in which Garvey was charged with mail fraud related to his promotion of the Black Star Line. He was convicted in 1923 and sentenced to prison, though many of his supporters believed that the charges were politically motivated and aimed at undermining his leadership. Sure. Okay. So you see in real time, you had Black leaders like W. Du Bois and A. Philip Randolph, A.P. Randolph, who called Garvey out in real time. They didn't wait. They didn't come after the fact like me. I wasn't born. They called him out in real time. Okay, this is history. Embrace it. Okay, so with all this being said, what does Umar got to say about this, about these facts? Look how he revised and remixed history and try to blame the victim. Good, Umar, tell us about it.
You don't know the history that we have had with other groups. Mr. Garvey goes on and he says, others of my race oppose me because they fear my influence among the people, and they judge me from their own corrupt, selfish conscience. This is important because I would agree with this. Mr. Garvey talking about his haters, W.E.B. Du Bois, A. Philip Randolph, all types of coons, NAACP, Black socialists, even some of Marcus Garvey's own childhood friends from Jamaica who came to New York City started hating on him because he was more successful than they were. Garvey says, others of my race oppose me because they fear my influence among the people and they judge me from their own corrupt, selfish conscience. I would agree with that.
Okay, of course you will, because y'all have something in common. You both are known for selling a dream that you probably will never deliver. Marcus Garvey never delivered his, and yours is so big and crazy that you'll probably never deliver yours. Okay. You are over 10 years in your dream, and there's like little to any motion with it. We hear them talking like Garvey talk. They promote it big, but we don't see it. Okay. To some investors, the dream is becoming a nightmare. Anyway, so he said he called W. Du Bois and Philip A. Randolph coons and haters because they called a scammer out for preying on FBA's ADOS freed people. Okay. So what were they really mad at? What was Philip A. Randolph, A. Philip Randolph position on immigration?
Instead of reducing immigration to 2% of the 1890 quota, We favor reducing it to nothing. We favor shutting out the Germans from Germany, the Italians from Italy, the Hindus from India, the Chinese from China, and even the Negroes from the West Indies.
Okay.
This country is suffering from immigrant indigestion.
So A. Philip Randolph is known as and was an immigration restrictionist. So as you can see, he didn't want immigrants over here. Germans from Germany, Italians from Italy, Hindus from India, Chinese from China, and he didn't even want the Negroes from the West Indies. Okay? He was a real FBA ADOS rider. We feel the same way today. Listen.
It is time to call a halt on this grand rush for American gold.
Ain't that all the excuse to come over here today? Oh man, it's a land of opportunities. There's jobs over there. This is over there. Listen.
Which overfloods the labor market.
Ain't that what we're saying? Ain't that what Trump said? They taking black jobs. Yo, he said this in 24? This is almost 100 years exactly.
Resulting in lowering the standard of living.
Why? Because a lot of them come over illegally, or they come over illegally, doesn't matter. But employers will pay them less. Because whatever they pay them, it's like 100 times more than what they made back in their country. Don't forget, in their country, 54 of their dollars today is one of ours. And it gets worse than that. So paying them $6 an hour to be a surgeon, like that's a he doing BBLs, successful ones, and he getting paid $7 an hour. That's still more than what he makes in his country. Can you imagine that, a surgeon making $6 an hour?
Race riots and general social degradation.
General social degradation. And that's what we say a lot of these folks bring over here. The baby mama drama, the violence, the shatta. This is what they bring over here because that's what they're going through in their countries. And as you can see, once they influx over here, if you check the dates, it spiked everywhere over here. No marriages all of a sudden. Violence went crazy. All this stuff went crazy, coincidentally, right when the influx of them came over here.
The excessive immigration is against the interest of the masses of all races and nationalities in the country, both foreign and native.
Okay, so that's why he was not well liked.
That's the irony. So yeah, this is why we got to clean up. And Corinne Jean-Pierre is a do-nothing stud wench. She's a nothing burger, and she's not a representative of our culture. That's why we don't want tethers misrepresenting us at all.
All right, cool. I can see there's no talking sense into you. It's just, you know what I mean? So, have a good one.
You're just giving us random anecdotal tidbits about nothing burger. You haven't talked about any real contribution because there are none.
I just said the Nation of Islam was a Garveyite.
The Nation of Islam was a foundational Black American, an Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, foundational Black American, who built up the Nation of Islam, one of the longest, most respected organizations in the country. And got a guy with Garvey. If that were the case, why are Marcus Garvey's organization still around with respect and
the audio janky? That's his audio. That's not mine.
Huh?
Yeah, I disagree with you, Tariq, because I think you're saying everything I'm saying is underwhelming. You're dismissing it. Now, how can you dismiss Garvey?
Yeah, I am. Garvey was not what y'all think he was. Garvey was somebody who we elevated. We elevated Garvey. Let's get that Garvey thing straight. Garvey didn't get a damn thing popping in Jamaica. We done said this multiple times. Garvey didn't get a damn thing popping in Jamaica. The Jamaicans did not even like Garvey. Garvey tried to get his movement started in Jamaica. He failed multiple times. He only got it popping when he came around foundational black Americans because we were embracing everybody. If you were black and you were talking about black empowerment, come on, you are our brother. It is not the other way around. He didn't influence us. We influenced his movement and we elevated him. We were already on that. We were already about elevating black people globally. Yeah, Garvey never even went to damn Africa. Garvey failed. Garvey failed. Let's be real. And then when he went back to Jamaica, because of the whole mail fraud thing, because some of the Caribbean tethers he had around him were undermining him. That's what John Henry Clark said.
That's what
Some
Umar
of his
said.
men that were undermining him, feeding information to law enforcement, were Caribbeans. His fellow Caribbeans undermined him. And then when he went back to Jamaica, he ran for political office against a white man. The white man won.
That's embarrassing.
That's why he left Jamaica. He left. He said he's ridiculous over
They
here.
voted a
He
white
died in
man.
Britain. He
Oh,
was
oh my
disgusted with
God.
Jamaica. Let's get that Garvey thing straight. That didn't do us no damn favor. He didn't do anything for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad stood on FBA business. Elijah Muhammad had the real blueprint. He did things the right way. That's why the organization is still strong to this day. The template is still strong. Nation building, men standing on business, respecting the women standing on business, respecting the men. But yeah, don't tell me about some Garvey influenced some damn body and Garvey failed. Garvey failed. Yeah?
I know.
Well, we got to get this history straight. People come in here talking about their contributions. Man, please, y'all been getting it in off of what we've created. And I'm not trying to denigrate nobody, but no. We got to speak truth to power. And this dude start talking about some random lawsuits. That's not some major contribution to us collectively.
But another problem that I had in terms of Garvey and what he did and what he was doing was how he the best way to say it is how he sucked up to racists, right? I'm sorry if this is new to you, but there was a letter from Garvey to Ernest Cox. And I think Ernest Cox was a white supremacist, KKK, or whatever the case may be. And here's what he said. He said, I sent you a telegram this morning, which I trust you have received as stated therein. I have just completed reading the book White America. It is wonderful. From the white man's point of view, it is a masterpiece in history, ethnology, and general race literature. It should be in the hand of every intelligent white person, not only in America, but Europe, South and Central America, as also the hand of every intelligent Negro. I do not and cannot agree with much of the historic data in reference to the black man. As a Negro, I have opinions of my own, but I fully appreciate the fact that you have written from the white man's viewpoint. And in that, I hereby agree and am in full sympathy. If I were your race, I would have written with the same force and probably with prejudice. You have been fair as anyone could expect under the circumstances. You have been much more liberal than the average writer or author. History, as you know, ancient is largely doubtful and highly speculative. The points of vantage credited to the one race can be easily claimed by the other. Yet that is not a matter of dispute between us. The fact is that the modern Negro is a lazy, good-for-nothing slumberer.
Damn.
This is
That
my
sounds like them.
conviction, arrived at by close and careful study and the experience. And if something is done for him, if something is not done for him, he will die as other unfit racists have died. So you see, Garvey viewed us as an unfit race in his letter to Ernest Cox. I have an issue with that. So this is just some of the things in terms of cozying up with racists, in terms of back to Africa, in terms of escapism. This is just a quick selection.
Okay, so let me just go back to the letter for 1 second, because something was pointed out. Okay, all right. Let me use my tools. All right. So now this is straight coonery. This is tethering. Yeah, and all right. So anyway, Garvey said Garvey he acknowledged that they were using prejudice, but then he said this right afterwards: "You have been as fair as anyone. How do you practice prejudice and be fair at the same time?" These two words literally contradict each other. So keep in mind, Mr. Cox was with the Grand Wizard, the Klan. So he's writing to the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, because he's trying to get together with them. Hey, y'all don't like black folks. Y'all don't want them here. I'm from Jamaica. I don't want them here because I'm trying to get us from colonialism in Jamaica over here. So why don't we work together? Shit, I got a whole bunch of them behind me. Why don't we work together? Because I need some money. You know, my stock are falling apart. So how about you guys use some of that racist money to fund these ships, and let's get these guys over to Africa, to Libya, for real, for real. Like, I could use y'all penny. It's worth it because now y'all problem is resolved and Jamaica's problem is resolved. We get to leave, flee our land, come over here, and we get those guys out of your face with the deep history you had with these guys. We don't have that history with them. We're not gonna fight against y'all, get in y'all way, take y'all jobs. We ain't doing none of that. Okay? So help us help you, basically. That's what Garvey was on with these damn KKK fools. Okay? There you go. So he met with the Klan so the Klan can help get us back to Africa. I hate the term back. I've never been there. So Garvey, with the Klan's help, was trying to sell us away to Liberia so that we founded this country, helped create it for what it is today, be the super power country, but we're gonna be shipped off to a third world to start all over while we didn't built this country. That was Garvey's plan, and that is white supremacist plan. That's what they always say, go back to Africa. Dude, you're talking to the wrong person. We're not from Africa. We've never been there. We have as much right to this country. We got much in stake in this country as anybody else. All right. We are American. We're not African. People hate that, but that is the truth. All right. So now let me see if I can. So I want to prove the point. Okay. So let's go back. Matter of fact, let's go forward. Okay. So let's take you somewhere. So Jamaicans began immigrating to the UK in large numbers. And how many numbers? Large numbers. From where? Jamaica. Okay. Now, remember, I said Garvey and the Klan was trying to get us out of here, uproot us, send us to a third world shithole country so that the Jamaicans can come over here and take our spot. Well, look what happened later. Jamaicans began immigrating to the UK in large numbers. Now, this would have been the US had Garvey trick worked. So Jamaicans began immigrating to the UK in large numbers after World War II. As part of the Windrush generation, the British government encouraged this migration to help fill labor shortages. They were so happy. They felt so entitled and so much of self-worth. Why did Jamaicans come to the UK? Economic opportunity. The Caribbean islands were struggling economically after World War II with high unemployment rates. Labor shortage. Britain was in need of workers to rebuild the country after the war. So British just wanted their country to be rebuilt. But Jamaicans took this as, oh, this is the new America. Okay. The British Nationality Act, the 1948 British Nationality Act gave people from colonized the right to live and work in Britain. Keep in mind, it's to build up Britain. Watch what happens when they build it up. Okay, so the Windrush generation. The Windrush generation refers to the people who came to Britain from the Caribbean between 1948 and 1971. Okay, The HMT Windrush is best known for carrying one of the first large groups of post-war West Indian immigrants to the UK. The ship arrived in London in June 1948. The Windrush generation played a significant role in shaping modern British society and culture. Okay, so now look what happened afterwards. Okay, so and now that was 1948, but look what happened in 1962. In 1962, the UK passed. Matter of fact, before I read that, I got to read this. Okay, so 14 years later from that, Jamaica gained independence from the UK, the United Kingdom, on August the 6th, 1962. See the date? 62. 1962. This day is celebrated as Jamaica's Independence Day. Okay? That's all we need to know, that Jamaica got their independence in 1962. But look what else happened in 1962. Now, they're independent, right? INDEPE. Okay? But look what happened that same year. In 1962, oh, you want to be independent? You want to be INDEPE? Okay. The UK passed the Commonwealth Immigrants Act, which significantly restricted immigration from Jamaica. You want independence? Well, you're about to be restricted from immigrating back over here and other Commonwealth countries by introducing a voucher system that limited entry to those with specific jobs, offers, or skills needed in the British workforce. This effectively curbed the free movement of people from former colonies like Jamaica following its independence that year. You see? So this followed their independence. Like, oh, you want to be independent? All right. Well, stop coming over here. Key points about the 1962 Act. Impact on Jamaicans. As Jamaica gained independence in 1962, this act meant that Jamaicans could no longer automatically migrate to the UK as they had previously as British subjects. Bye-bye. Bye, Felicia. Voucher system. The act introduced a system where potential immigrants needed a work voucher from a British employer to be allowed entry. Rationale: concerns about large-scale immigration from Commonwealth countries led to the implementation of this stricter immigration policy. Okay, so they enacted an immigration restriction policy or act. Okay, now look at here. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. This is here in America. So this is 3 years later after the 1962 Immigration Restriction Act of the UK. So basically, while the UK was adding immigration restriction acts, America was taking theirs down because of pretty much hijacking the civil rights movement. Because 1964 was the Civil Rights Act, right? So 65, they hijacked our act and said, okay, we're gonna let these guys over here now. Okay, so 1965, also known as the Hart-Celler Act, removed immigration quotas and opened the door to immigrants from around the world. The law was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson on October 3rd, 1965. Okay, so this is the backdoor stuff that they do to FBAs and ADOS. When they give us something, believe me, they got something waiting to neutralize it or make it null and void. Okay, so guess what happened now? So they opened the door to all immigrants. So now, those who were just locked out of the UK, who just got independence, but don't want to be independent, they're leaving their country in large droves. They turned their eyes towards the USA and Canada. So these guys were independent in 1962 and were already fleeing in 1965 to America and Canada. That's a fact. This is history. Okay. What else we got? Okay, so Jamaican immigration. Watch this. Now that the United States passed passed the Immigration Act, now Jamaican immigration to the United States increased significantly in the 1960s and the 1970s. After the Hart-Celler Act of 1965, this act abolished quotas and racial bias in immigration policy. Mm. The Civil Rights era 1960s, the Civil Rights era and the Hart-Celler Act led to a large increase in Jamaican immigration. Now, what happened to independence? How do you establish independence, but don't want to be there, but don't want to be independent? You leave. Oh, we are like it's like they call the UK bluff. We want to be independent. Ah, you're independent. So you ain't gonna let us go back to your country? No, you're independent. Oh shit. We were just playing. We were just bluffing. Nope, nope, you're independent. 1970s, the number of Jamaican immigrants continued to increase, reaching almost 140,000 between 1971 and 1980. Here they come. 1980s, another 208,000 Jamaicans immigrated to the United States between 1981 and 1990. Why are they fleeing over here? Economic opportunity. Jamaicans were drawn to the United States for jobs and blue collar work. Family preference. U.S. citizens sponsored many Jamaican immigrants. Political instability in Jamaica and other Caribbean countries also contribute to immigration, meaning that the government was corrupt. Still is. But here they come. 208,000. That's the 1980s. So when we talk about black statistics, whether it be single parenthood, welfare, or STDs, you got to consider what year it is. Because when it comes to 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, at that time there was millions of Jamaicans over here, even millions more. West Indies and whoever else, Africans of the continent, and Haiti coming over here, taking part of that negative stat. But the stat just says black on black crime. It doesn't differentiate or delineate, hey, these are Haitians, these are Jamaicans, or these are Nigerians. It just say black. And as it just says black, those foreigners could step away from the stat and say, hey, that's yeah. It's like, but aren't you black? Yeah, but I'm Jamaican. And that's yeah. Because if it was us, it would say Jamaican. If it was them, it would say Nigerian. And if it was them, it would say Haitian. But it just says black. And aren't y'all black? So that's yeah. Okay, so they come over here and contribute to the degeneration of society, but they get to take a step back away from the stats, and it just looked like it's FBA and ADOS. So I say, no, 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 no. What percentage of y'all are contributing to these negative statistics? That's what I want. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look at it. Okay, so baby mother, right? Baby mother was something we never heard of in 1966. In 1966, y'all can look it up. About 70% or more of black households were nuclear, two family, marriage. Mother and father were married. 70% or more households. This is FBA ADOS, no West Indies, no Haitian, no African. Our exclusive homes were predominantly two family, nuclear, married. That's 1966. But look what's going on in Jamaica in 1966. The term baby mother originated in Jamaican Creole. That's either fact or false. And was first used in print in 1966 in their paper, the Jamaican Gleaner or whatever, or Gleamer. It was used by fathers to describe the mothers of their children who were not married to them, single parent homes out of wedlock. Okay, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. We're not done. How the term is used. The term is now used more generally to describe any single mother. So that's now any, but it was only talking about this single mother right here in Jamaica. It's often considered pejorative, especially when used to describe unmarried parents. It can also be used. Okay, so this is modern stuff, but we can see that it was from it originated in Jamaica, 1966. We knew nothing about that. So it can be argued that this degenerate behavior, because again, they didn't come over here until the 80s in large numbers, but really 90s, where they were in the millions. Okay, so now all of a sudden, in 1990, Black America got this baby mama drama, and black marriages went from 70% to 30%. So now our culture is mirroring Jamaican culture when it comes to households with family households. Our society is mirroring theirs, but y'all say, nah, can't be possible. And I'm saying, let's look at it. Let's just look at it. What's this? Okay, so why are some black immigrants birthday on January 1st? Okay, so black immigrants, particularly refugees from countries with limited record keeping, are often assigned a birthday of January 1st because when they arrive in a new country and need to fill out paperwork requiring a birth date, they may not have access to official documentation proving their actual birth date, leading officials to use January 1st as a placeholder due to its ease and neutrality. Okay. So when they troll in this chat, when they troll, ask them their birthday because we don't even know if they are as old as what they say they are. And of course, they're going to say what? Younger, right? Of course, they're going to say younger. So when these guys in high school and they talking about, hey, you call me an African booty scratcher, bruh, because you probably are. You 24 in the damn 7th grade, dude. What else are you doing? You scratching your backside. What are you doing in here? All right. So we got more problems with these places. Jamaica. So 89% of Jamaica's tertiary level graduates leave Jamaica and come to the United States. Okay, what is a tertiary level graduate? A tertiary level graduate refers to someone who has completed a level of education beyond high school. So these are people that do better than a high school graduate, meaning they have earned a degree or a certificate from a college or university, which is also known as post-secondary or tertiary education. This would include a bachelor's degree, master's degree, or doctorate, depending on the specific program completed. So these highly educated people of Jamaica, they say damn near 90% of them, once they get this education, they leave Jamaica and they head to the United States or Canada or somewhere else, maybe in the UK. But that's bad for Jamaica because their brains leaving the country to a bunch of degenerates to run the country. This is why their government is shitty and they have all these issues. Okay, most of their money comes from tourism because the brains left. The brains to figure out how to rebuild Jamaica and to get money to make the GDP grow, they're gone. They're helping the GDP. They're helping make America great. Okay, so you guys can read the rest. Okay, but anyway, this is called a brain drain. When the best of your minds leave your country and flee to another country, it's called a brain drain to the country who loses out on their best minds, and it's called a brain gain for the country who receives their best minds. And when you have a brain drain, your company usually implode from within. They usually go, become a poop hole. All right. So with that being said, let's keep going. All right, so the information, how y'all feel about that? How y'all feel about that? Okay, so I'm gonna play something. I'm gonna end this, or at least this section of it, with A. Philip Randolph, some deep history. All right, but before I do that, let's entertain. Matter of fact, I'll do it now. so I can be a little petty a little later. Okay, so hold on. Let me do it now. So let me, okay, so I'll do it last. I'll do it last. Okay. So let me do this first. So what do you guys think so far? And by the way, you see the cash app right there. You dig? If you like the research, you like the information, go ahead and, you know, support it. Okay, so let's go here. Yeah, Jamaica, like I said, when you have a brain drain and you leave the country to a bunch of degenerates to run it, you end up with an issue like this. Okay. You end up with 9 times out of 10, you end up with situations like this. It's not good. Not good at all. This is what you end up with. Okay, give it a second. Just pulling it up. When you have a brain drain, your country end up looking like this.
It's literally since 2011 that it was reformed, since 1992.
Since 1992,
so before that, the man named Rape on a galang. And nothing happened.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way.
So she said before 2011, their laws and their acts that was enforced. She said before then, so Jamaican men been raping women and nothing happening. Meaning nobody's being locked up, nobody's being charged. They just get to roam the streets of Kingston, Jamaica and do it over and over again. Listen, listen, listen.
Names are Rape on a galang reformed. Since that, it's literally since 2011 that it was reformed, since 1992.
Since 1992,
so before that, the man named Rape on a galang. And nothing happened.
And nothing happened. So before then, a man just raping a woman and nothing happened. This is the 2000s. This ain't 1940, 1930, where they can blame the colonial government, colonial powers. This is 2011. But this is what happens when your best minds leave your country and leave it to a bunch of degenerates. And those degenerates, at some point, they flee and they come to America illegally. And they do this over here and they get categorized as black.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way.
I saw me that put it though.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way.
But he said, I wouldn't put it that way when she said, so they just could grape women, nothing happens. He said, I wouldn't put it that way. She said, that's the way I put it, because that's the facts. Nothing was happening to these guys. These guys can grape. She cries to the officers, she gets sent home. And the reason and the justification for this was that a lot of politicians and lawmakers were saying that women are wearing nothing. So they pretty much bring it on themselves. Like that's the argument in Jamaica. Y'all could just Google that. That is the argument. The men are saying, well, if you don't want to be raped, don't come outside with nothing on. And you can imagine how the women dress. They'd be looking like carnival like every damn day.
I put it too. So
before that, the man named Rape on a galang. And nothing happened.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way.
I saw me that put it though.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. What I put it as is that the government saw a problem and they took the necessary step to make the necessary change.
The government is the problem. Did he just go to the government as the problem?
Necessarily put it that way.
I saw me that put it though.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way. What I put it as is that the government saw a problem and they took the necessary step to make the necessary changes.
Them tiptoe. But anyways, I digress.
Them tiptoe making the changes.
Okay, so now let's talk about it's basically the Sex Offenders
So,
Act,
right,
but then you were
so
saying that the registry. So the registry started in 2011 as well?
So the legislation was officially enacted in 2011, but the sex offenders registry itself was officially set up as in physically in 2014. So it's being managed by the Commissioner of Corrections.
Okay. So you're saying to me that it's literally since 2011
And
why can't everyone access the sexual offenders registry like it is in other countries around the world?
well, the names that are placed on the registry, sexual offenses registry, are in fact private and confidential. But I think
So Jamaica's sexual offenders on the registry, their names are private and confidential. This is what happens when your brains leave the country and you leave it to degenerates to run the country. They will protect themselves. So the sex offenders, they are protected. Their names are private. So the person they go do a song with, they rap with, they go to the beach with, the school teacher, the babysitter, names could be on that list and you will never know as a private citizen. So he's going to go on and say you got to be a church or something else to get access. But private citizens have no access to who their neighbor is as far as on that list. That's crazy. But again, when you leave a country to be ran by degenerates, you get this. You get degradation.
for good reason, because we have to bear in mind that even though someone is convicted of a sexual offense, they still have to meaningfully contribute to society. And it may be a situation where they're placed on the list and unable to get work or a meaningful job or.
You heard this? The degenerates in Jamaica, politics, they're concerned about a rapist getting a job because of what he did. Because he might be discriminated against for his past actions of violently raping somebody. They're concerned with him getting a job. Now we just read earlier, ain't no jobs. But they want to protect the predator. Oh my God, where is Chris Hansen? How to Catch a Predator? Yo, we need Chris Hansen and all these predator teams to go to Jamaica. Yo, they will have shows forever. Oh boy. I know where the young phenom is going when he get out of jail.
Schools.
He's going to a country where nobody can criticize him for his past actions.
I think you understand what I'm saying?
No.
She said, I ain't trying to hear what you're trying to say, protecting these offenders.
I'm gonna be real with you because why can't everyone access the sexual offenders registry like it is in other countries around the world?
All right, so we heard that part. So they are protecting the offenders. They're making the list private so the public can't know who's who. So the public could be in harm's way at any time, anywhere, at any cost. All right, so let's move on to another issue that they're faced with, because when you let your brains leave the country, you end up with the degenerates left behind to run the country. So now look what else is happening in Jamaica. So Garvey, you might want to fix this before you try to come fix our problem. Now our problem, we don't need somebody from another country, a failure, to come help us. We had our leaders already in motion and they got enough and a lot accomplished, more than any other black person to ever come here, immigrate here, okay, illegally or legally. But look at this other issue they got going on in Jamaica.
Yo, Jamaica, right? I learned this in university still. Like I actually did a course on this. And I saw it being circulated around social media. So Jamaica has the highest paternity fraud in the world with 34.6%. I learned this.
So Jamaica got the highest case of paternity fraud. Nigeria is second with like 30%. And no country is remotely close. When I say not close, Canada is like 1.6%. 1.6 compared to 30. So 1%, 2%, 1.5%, let's just say 1%. Canada got 1%. Jamaica and Nigeria at 34.6, and I believe Nigeria's at 30% of paternity fraud. Okay, she's going to explain what paternity fraud is.
Highest paternity fraud in the world.
In the world.
With 34.6%.
That's what happens when your brains leave the country.
I learned this in first year university, right? So basically what they're saying is that I be a jacket. I just be a jacket I give away. Y'all
have some tailor jackets too.
Okay,
yeah.
so jacket is a slang word. See, look that up. Let me go to chat BT. Let me see if I can look this up. Come on. Jacket. Let's see if it comes up. Okay, cool. It came up. Make it bigger. Okay. Boom. Okay. So in Jamaica, in Jamaican slang, jacket refers to a man who is unknowingly raising a child that isn't biologically his. It's a term used to describe a man who has been tricked. So this ain't like America, where a man just voluntarily hop into a relationship with a woman with a kid, or you know what I mean, something like that. No. This guy is being tricked into fatherhood, often when a woman tells him that he's the father of her child, but the child is actually someone else's. So these men are being tricked into fatherhood. The woman's lying on them. Jamaica leads the world with this illegal practice, and Nigeria is in a close second with this illegal practice. So let's go back. So when they say jacket, they're talking about that technology.
I be a jacket first year university, right? So basically what they're saying is that I be a jacket. I just be a jacket I give away.
Y'all have some tailor jackets too.
Yeah, you have some well-tailored jackets still.
Not lying.
But yeah, so basically like a lot of men are taking care of children that are not their own.
Unbeknownst to them.
But I feel like you see it a lot. Yo, there was an article, you know, remember the man, and him did have like, once 5 or 7 pitney, and him find out say, no, them have 7 pitney, and him find out say 5 a jacket.
Yeah.
And I feel something like the uncle or something like that. Yeah, but this, and him, yeah. But,
wow, it's crazy.
What you do as a man? So, yo.
Jamaica may have a higher rate than other places. Jamaica may have a higher rate than other places, but in any country, especially in America, there are a high number of people who are taking care of children who are not from their bloodline, to say the least, right? And in Jamaican culture, jacket is a thing that is almost, how would you say, accepted,
It's accepted,
praised,
it's normalized
in certain circles, and it's just a part of the culture that's just
it's part of the culture.
Normal to a certain extent, no matter how dysfunctional it is, because you basically have a situation where
so when they talk about we don't have a culture, but look at your culture. Your culture, you have birthdays on the same month and day. You have a jacket problem and you have a fender problem. That's your culture. That's uniquely designated to you guys. That ain't like nobody else calling themselves black. So before you say we ain't got a culture, let's actually look at your culture. So chat, when you see them, ask them how many jackets they got. That's the men. If there's a woman in the chat, ask her how many jackets she put on men, right? And also ask them their birthday.
The man taking care of the children, taking care of the child, or the one registered as a legal guardian, or the person who thinks it's their child, is not the father of the child. Women do it for numerous reasons. Some is just a mix-up where there's just too much, what do you call it, promiscuity. And you have others where it's a strategic thing where, Jamaica may have a higher rate than other places.
Okay, so now speaking of tethers, right, from the West Indies. So a lot of folks were bought in to the personality of Lord Jamar. That's fine. That's okay. It's okay if you support him and like his music or like his podcast. That nobody is saying boycott Lord Jamar. We're just saying he's not FBA. We're saying it because he said it. So if anybody's saying he's half FBA, you gotta produce the evidence. Because I'm going to produce the evidence where he says he's not FBA. Okay? So if you think he's FBA, then you know something he doesn't know. You know more about his side of the family than him. All right? So let Lord Jamar tell you himself what he is and what he ain't.
But Adams, you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, ever since this whole, I was hearing about this whole ADOS, from the I was hearing about this whole ADOS, from the minute I heard about it, it was like a division. Yeah.
So the minute he heard, now keep in mind, when he's saying ADOS, he's also incorporating FBA because this was before FBA. But ADOS is synonymous with reparations, basically. So is FBA to a degree. FBA more is separate from reparations itself, is more everything plus reparations. ADOS seem to be more so speaking about reparations from what I know. All right. But FBA definitely is more things and it includes reparations. Okay. So when you say ADOS, you're almost always saying reparations as well. But when you say FBA, you're not always talking about reparations. I think that's fair analysis. So when he says ADOS, he's speaking on reparations. They're talking about reparations. So he said when he first heard of ADOS, he's talking about ADOS stance on reparations, which disaggregated other black people from ADOS, FBA or free people. Okay. Whether you like the term ADOS, FBA, or free people, that's personal, but they're all speaking to the same body of people. They're all speaking about the same people with the same lineage here in America that can go back to slavery. Okay, but anyway, so I heard the semantics. Well, he's saying ADOS. He ain't saying that's because FBA wasn't the thing then. It was only ADOS. And Tariq Nasheed was saying ADOS then. And then Tariq Nasheed started saying ADOS, FBA, then just FBA. So don't try to dismiss ADOS when everybody was saying ADOS, because everybody knew what ADOS represented. It represented reparations for our lineage only, descendants of American slaves. So now that's called semantics. So when he says ADOS, he's talking about reparations. So when he first heard ADOS, when he first heard reparations, he immediately thought of division, divisive, and listen to Vlad. Yeah, we expect Vlad. So he out here agreeing with Vlad on reparations.
But Adams, you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, ever since this whole, I was hearing about this whole ADOS, from the minute I heard about it, it was like a division. Yeah. Amongst black people. Yeah. It was a division. It seemed like some sort of, well, you're not American enough. Like, what's your lineage? Like.
So when he say division amongst black people, y'all gotta stop thinking black people means us only. He's saying black people, like everybody that calls themselves black Jamaicans, black Nigerians, black Americans, everybody who says black, he's lumping everybody up. He's saying our claim for reparations caused division amongst blacks of the world.
But Adams, you know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, ever since this whole, I was hearing about this whole ADOS, from the minute I heard about it, it was like a division. Yeah. Amongst black people. Yeah. It was a division. It seemed like some sort of, well, you're not American enough. Like, what's your lineage?
And y'all gotta stop saying, well, how old this was. It doesn't matter because he kept the same talking points all the way until today. I showed this. He never said it was no longer divisive. You know what? FBAs, it make more sense now. I'm for it. Yeah, black Americans deserve to carve out their own section of the world and call themselves something that's exclusive to them. He never made that claim. He never made that statement. He always had the same ideas, and I showed you it a consistent pattern. He's going to do it with Vlad, as you've seen. He did it with Tariq to his face. He did it to Rod Digger, his co-host. He did it to Godfrey's other co-host. Everywhere he went, he said the same thing. Reparations is divisive. Oh, what year was that? Bro, when did it change? Okay, so if a white racist say something about black folks and it was in 2003, we're going to say, yeah, but what year was that? Like, this dude is clearly anti-reparations for us. Us is enough, right? Because we say not like us. Who's the us? It's us is us. So he is anti-reparations for us. He told everybody to their face. He told Vlad, he told Tariq, he told Rod Digger, he told Godfrey. Listen.
What's this whole ADOS movement? And how is that not something that's kind of divisive amongst people in this country? Like how do we decide who's who?
See what I'm saying? How disrespectful they've been to them. Exactly.
Right, but then this is also, to
That's
me,
foul.
I see this as a divide and conquer thing.
Okay, so now he's over here with Godfrey saying the same thing. So DJ Vlad, Tariq, now Godfrey, and now next will be Rod Digger. And everybody agreed except for DJ Vlad. DJ Vlad said, yeah, it's divisive.
So now I'm supposed to get oh, word? That's what the Jamaicans are saying? Well, then fuck that. You know.
And on the list of tangibles, I would assume that that's where this ADOS comes in, because I'm thinking that certain people would hope that the tangibles, that the part of the tangibles would be reparations for the ADOS. Yes?
Yes.
Is that what I'm to believe? Now,
not just that, but definitely number one on the list.
Right.
I definitely said when you ready to.
Yes. Before you add on, I just would like to say, now there's some that feel that this movement is quite divisive and just another way to divide black people.
Foundational black Americans.
So as you know, he was going to say it's another way to divide black people. So Rod Digger, he said ADOS was divisive. ADOS equals reparations. And he said reparations. He told Rod Digger, he told Godfrey, he told DJ Vlad, he told Tariq to his face, ADOS is divisive.
Because over here in the North American continent, us, foundational black Americans, we are the founders of the United States. There was no United States until foundational black Americans built it. So we are acknowledging our own designation. So that's not divisive, because other groups do this.
And I just feel like we need to come together as black people, you know what I mean, as much as possible. And it just feels like that type of thought, and I understand where you're coming from with it, but it feels like that type of thought helps to divide instead of bring us more together.
This is the problem, Lord Jamar. That division is caused by non-FBA. Foundational black Americans, we have been the only people fighting.
Okay, so now the term FBA, the acronym FBA is being used, and he's still saying it's divisive. So stop with the semantics. He said when ADOS was being used, he said divisive. Now FBA is now being used. He's still saying divisive because he knows that FBA, ADOS, both can be used in place of reparations. When you say FBA, when you say ADOS, the word reparations is somewhere around. Okay, so he's saying by claiming reparations for FBAs only, for claiming reparations for ADOS only, that's divisive against black people.
Okay, this is the problem, Lord Jamar. That division is caused by non-FBA. Foundational Black Americans, we have been the only people fighting for everybody.
First of all,
Period.
you know, there's a lot of there's a lot of divide and conquer with this. There's a lot of bullshit that goes into
He's
this
doubling
talk of
down.
reparations.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it. He didn't say ADOS. He didn't say FBA. He said there's a lot of divide and conquer when it comes to reparations. I told you, when he hears ADOS, he looks at that as synonymous with reparations. Gotcha, bitch.
Bullshit that goes into this talk of reparations. You know,
Lord
as far
Jamar,
as who gets it, and
both of my parents,
mm-hmm.
on both sides of the family, we can trace everything back to plantations.
So Tariq is about to explain who gets it and who doesn't get it.
In Alabama, North Carolina. So my family, 100% foundational Black Americans. Nobody in my nations in Alabama, North Carolina. So my family, 100% foundational Black Americans. Nobody in my family immigrated.
How many people can do that, though?
We can. We can do that. Most of us can.
How many that are claiming to be can really do that? Keep it real.
You can trace your family lineage at least back to 1870. You can trace your family back to the 1870 census. If you know your mama and you know your daddy, their name has been documented somewhere. You know where to trace them.
Right. So a lot of them had just first names, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, I physically, this is not no easy shit to do these traces. Like, I physically have been through this shit. Like, I've seen it. Like, I went down that rabbit hole for a second.
So he's right. It is a rabbit hole if you are a Black immigrant trying to trace your family back to a plantation. You're right. Or the 1870 census. You're right. It's a rabbit hole for you only, for Black immigrants. It's not a rabbit hole for those who say they have lineage going back to the plantation or the 1870 census.
When you get to all that slavery type of shit, like, the records are not what you think.
There's outliers to it, but generally, it's pretty easy to trace your lineage back to slavery, to a plantation. Or it's easy to trace your lineage back to at least the 1870 census. The average person who can trace their lineage back to 1870, 9 times out of 10, you came from a slave plantation because they'll list you as a farm worker or domestic or something like that. So that means you came most likely from a slave plantation. And that's a little bit different from somebody who immigrated over because you wouldn't be eligible for a reparations claim. We can't open up that door, and this is for several reasons. If we start letting African and Caribbean brothers start getting reparations based on the Jim Crow treatment, then what's going to happen? The damn white Hispanics are going to start saying, okay, well, damn it, I was mistreated too. And then it's going to undermine the reparations claim. We respect CARICOM. Over in the Caribbean, they have a reparations movement.
My thing is, there was a lot of suffering done by all of us at different times in America. I don't give a fuck if you got to America 5 years ago from whatever fucking country. If you Black, you're gonna go through you're gonna suffer some bullshit.
Lord Jamar, you just said the wildest thing ever, bro. If you got here 5 years ago, dude, you're not part of no damn ADOS, FBA, Free People Reparation Claim. What are we talking about now? So now we're just being dumb, jealous, and envious of what's going on over here in America. Like, come on, 5 years ago, my boy. Really? But this is what you would say when you don't qualify. When you know you're not one of us, you would try to somehow fit your way in. 5 years ago, we got here. We should be able to make a claim with you, be part of that claim because we suffered some things too. Okay. Yeah, we'll make your claim with CARICOM.
Let's just say we all get $2 million.
Why'd you say we? Why did Lord Jamar start off by saying, let's say we get, dude, you ain't get, see, he's still tying himself into reparations. Dude, you're not getting anything. Okay, you are Guyanese. You don't have an FBA mother or father. Okay, you never claimed it, and we're not going to claim it for you. We're going to say what you said. We're not going to say what you didn't say. You never said one of your parents were FBA, so then you're not FBA. You never said one of your parents were ADOS, so you're not ADOS. You are a black immigrant, and that's okay, bro. You have a claim being made on your behalf over there, CARICOM, all right? But don't start a conversation off. What if we do? Not we. You say, what if y'all? That's the proper way to start this off.
Bullshit. Let's just say we all get $2 million, you know, all black people that can prove it, that, you know, they have lineage here in these North America, and they were slaves here, and they get $2 million. What the fuck do you think these motherfuckers are gonna do with that money? They just give the money right back. They just would give the money right back. Just like you get your taxes and all that.
That is the most disrespectful thing you can say. And why are you still undermining reparations? If they want to give it right back, that's their right. It's their money. It's their money, and they want it now. Right now, you have the right to get paid and go to Atlantic City, New Jersey, or go to one of these casinos in Las Vegas and give the money right back. And right back to whom? To the government? No, you're going to give the money right back to a private sector. You have the right. It might be illegal, but you have the right to blow your money on illegal drugs, on women, or men, or whatever you want. You might buy a bunch of houses, and people might say that's a bad investment, okay? But you have the right to do that with your money. Why are you worried about what folks do with their money? But why do people who are non-FBA, non-ADOS, why do they always assume that 43 million FBAs, ADOS are going to spend their money on BS? And why do you care? Nobody said the Native Americans, wait, before they get paid, what they going to do with the money? The Japanese, what they going to do? The Jewish people, what are they going to do with the money? Are they going to control Hollywood? Nobody said none of that stuff. Dude, mind your business. How about that?
Tax time coming, half of these motherfuckers giving that shit right back to the within 6 hours sometimes in the motherfucking black community. Needs to be running around with, like, the shit would be fucking crazy. Like, and all the guns and, oh man, and Mercedes and blinged out, it would just be, fuck. They just give the money right back. They just would give the money right back. Just like you get your taxes and all that.
Yo, look at Rodriguez, shake her head in disgust. Look. Look at her head. She's just disgusted by this hater.
They just give the money right back. They just would give the money right back. Just like you get your taxes and all that. Tax time coming.
That's a white supremacist talking point, to not give us reparations, to undermine the legal claim of reparations. You'll just give it right back. So what's the point of even having it? Because you're not going to have it after 6 hours, like Lord Jamar said. It'll be right back in our hands. So we might as well just not even go down this route.
Half of these motherfuckers giving that shit right back to the within 6 hours sometimes in the motherfucking black community. Needs to be running around with, like, the shit would be fucking crazy. Like, and all.
Are you ADOS?
Here's the thing.
So now Vlad asked him, are you ADOS? ADOS. Because again, this is before FBA got popping. Before FBA had any motion.
On my father's side, no. Okay? We trace back to Guyana.
Okay, so I'm Guyanese on my father's side. What about your mother's side?
Okay.
So you're Caribbean then?
South American, yes.
Oh, Guyana's not
It's
Caribbean?
a Caribbean, it's in South America, but it's considered Caribbean in a way.
Got it.
It's one of
Yeah, because, whenever I go
South
to
American countries.
the West Indian Day Parade, I'm pretty sure I see Guyana flags flying around.
In South America.
Right.
Just like you might see Honduras or something like, but that's all in South America. So anyway, now my mother is adopted, so I don't know her.
Okay, so my father is Guyanese. My mother, I don't know. How am I FBA. FBA is not about not knowing. FBA is all about knowing. You have to know who you are because you have to produce your paperwork when the time comes. Okay? In order to get certain benefits that's exclusive to FBA, people, you're going to need to produce your paperwork like the Native Americans, like the Japanese, like the Jewish people. You got to produce paperwork to acquire these benefits, to be eligible for these benefits. It's no different with us. So if you can't produce paperwork that tie you to FBA lineage, guess what? You're not FBA and you won't benefit from anything that's designated for us. Okay, so knowing who your father is as a Guyanese man and not knowing who your mother is disqualifies you, okay, in all ways imaginable, right? So let's not make this more than what it is, all right? We're not going to make his mom FBA when he didn't. He said, I don't know.
I still got to do some research on, you know what I mean?
Dude, you're 90 years old. How much research you got to go? Dude, it ain't that goddamn hard. It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard to know what your mom is. I got to do more research. No, it's over. You did research and it came up. No results found. You dig?
She discovered one side of her father. Now I got to trace where his family's from. But I did the trace on my father's side. So on that side, no, I'm not Ados. It's possible I'm on my mother's side. I am.
Okay. Now that possible ain't enough. We need to know. You dig? Like that song. We need to know what's on your mind.
But see, again, that's some bullshit.
What's BS? What's BS? Because you're not FBA and you're ineligible for benefits that's designated just for us? That's not BS. That's good. That's good. Good.
But anyway, who here in America are direct descendants of the slavery, and I'm assuming that that happened here. Anyway, who
that side? No, I'm not Ados. It's possible I'm on my mother's side. I am. But see, again, that's some bullshit.
But anyway, who here in America are direct descendants of the slavery, and I'm assuming that that happened here on this land in America, and they're probably not even thinking about South America.
No, we're not at all. South America is not on our mind at all as we make a claim for reparations. You are exactly right. Only the United States is on our mind. You're right.
Anything like that. But let's just say they're isolating it to just here in just America. Well, now immediately they've isolated the South Americans.
Yes, we did.
You can trace your family lineage at least back to 1870. You can trace your family back to the 1870 census. If you know your mama and you know your daddy, their name has been documented somewhere. You know where to trace them.
Right.
So
a lot of them had just first names, though. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, I physically, this is not no easy shit to do these traces. Like, I physically have been through this shit. Like, I've seen it. Like, I went down that rabbit hole for a second. And when you get to all of that slavery type of shit, like, the records are not what you...
Both of my parents, on both sides of the family, we can trace everything back to plantations in Alabama and North Carolina. So my family, 100% foundational Black Americans. Nobody in my family immigrated.
How many people can do that, though? Do you think?
We can. We can do that. Most of us can.
How many that are claiming to be can really do that?
Hey, yo, he said keep it real. Yo, this dude is being passive aggressive towards Tariq Nasheed, our FBA ADOS brother, and you guys are letting this guy get a pass. Keep it real. Like he's lying. Keep it real. How many can actually trace their family lineage? Keep it real. Dude, you can't because you're not like us. But we can. We're alike. We're A-alike, we be alike, and we see alike.
People can do that.
100% foundational Black Americans. Nobody in my family immigrated.
How many people can do that, though? Do you think?
We can. We can do that. Most of us can.
How many that are claiming to be can really do that? Keep it real.
trace your family
He said,
lineage
keep it
at
real.
least back to
This dude
1870.
is
You can trace your family back to the 1870 census. If you know your mama and you know your daddy, their name has been documented somewhere. You know where to trace them.
Right.
So
a
you
lot of them had just first names, though. You know what I mean? Like I'm telling you, I physically. This is not no easy shit to do these traces. Like I physically have been through this
100%
shit.
easy.
Like I've seen it. Like I went down that rabbit hole for a second, and when you get to all of that slave,
there
some
are
fancy
outliers.
shit to it.
There's outliers to it, but generally it's pretty. There
Some
are outliers.
fancy shit to it.
There's outliers to it, but generally it's pretty easy to trace your lineage back to slavery, to a plantation, or it's easy to trace your lineage back to at least the 1870 census. The average person who can trace their lineage back to 1870, 9 times out of 10, you came from a slave plantation because they'll list you as a farm worker or domestic or something like that. So that means you came most likely from a slave plantation. And that's a little bit different from somebody who immigrated over because you wouldn't be eligible for a reparations claim.
It's my great-grandfather on my father's side. It's my great...
It came most likely from a slave plantation. And that's a little bit different from somebody who immigrated over because you wouldn't be eligible for a reparations claim.
It's my great...
It came worker or domestic or something like that. So that means you came most likely from a slave plantation. And that's a little bit different from somebody who immigrated over because you wouldn't be eligible for a reparations claim.
It's my great-grandfather on my father's side that wasn't born here.
It's my great-grandfather on my father's side that wasn't born here.
How does one know that they're a foundational American? I, a few years back, did a like an ancestral so I had just did on my father's side, right? But in doing all of this, and I'm going to tell you, it traced back to Guyana, right?
Okay, right.
So I had just did on my father's side, right? And I'm going to tell you, it traced back to Guyana.
We can trace back.
My family suffered from redlining and all that type of shit, because I know how you feel about like Jamaicans that come here right now, this generation, and they're able to get loans. My family didn't go through that. My family didn't get all that when they came here. We lived as regular black people. So let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. That would not, if they came over and they immigrated, because your family came from immigrants, they immigrated over here, and you can
Ellis
that.
Island.
Because your family came from immigrants. They immigrated over here, and you can Ellis Island.
Okay, so when people say Ellis Island, when they say Ellis Island, just know that that means they're immigrant for sure. Okay, Ellis Island was a designated area for immigrants, for refugees or people leaving their homeland for whatever the reason was. It could be famine, it could be civil war, it could be for better working opportunities. Just know that Ellis Island is literally immigration. If a person say Ellis Island, damn near 100% of the time they are an immigrant. White, Hispanic, Chinese, Black, whatever, they are an immigrant. So for him to say Ellis Island, like that's like the biggest piece of information we need to know that he's most likely an immigrant. Okay, who's hiding his lineage from you. He's just not being honest. Godfrey, who's Nigerian, is proud to be Nigerian. Godfrey, and we trust Godfrey, whatever his podcast is called. Godfrey is a proud Nigerian. I respect the hell out of any black person who's proud of their country, regardless if they're not from here, America, regardless if they're not FBA, ADOS. I respect any black woman and man who is proud to be from their homeland, regardless of the government being corrupt or white people taking over their natural resources. If you're proud of your homeland, you ain't gonna lie like Lord Jamar and be all evasive okay, with your background. I respect you, okay? Cause just because you're non-FBA, just because you're non-ADOS, it doesn't mean you are our enemy. You can be our ally as long as you don't get in our goddamn way or try to lead us. Step aside, let us do what we do, and just support us. Like Godfrey. And you will be considered an ally, and we rock with you. We support you. Rock with Godfrey. Godfrey has a long, long history, 5 years or more, defending us, representing us, you know, our talking points and our ideologies. That's just a fact. That's a fact. So Godfrey is really our ally, but you guys are choosing Lord Jamar over Godfrey. Lord Jamar has been questioning and criticizing and debunking and denouncing what we stand for, but Godfrey been the whole time in, you know, lifting us up. Like, yeah, they're right. But you guys choose Lord Jamar because he's a rapper, and Godfrey's a comedian, and he's pretty funny. But you guys rather choose Lord Jamar, a guy who's passive aggressive, who's critical of a reparations claim. You guys choose him over Godfrey. That to me is just wild and beyond imagination. I just don't see that. Godfrey is clearly an ally, and Lord Jamar is a cosplayer. So I just I'm ashamed of some of y'all, to be real.
Right.
I know the boat.
Hey, that's very different.
Island.
Because your family came from immigrants. They immigrated over here, and you can
Ellis
that.
Island.
Because your family came from immigrants. They immigrated over here, and you can Ellis Island.
Right.
I know the boat.
Hey, that's very different, because you can't get a reparations claim like that.
Because you can't get a reparations claim like that.
And it's very important to not mix it up.
But now keep in mind, this is just my father's side.
I understand that.
We all have two sides now. My mother's side, I ain't traced that yet.
Y'all would know who the southern side of her family was. So if y'all don't know, that means she's from the Caribbean. So if I can understand that you don't know your dad, that's one thing. And your mom didn't tell you where your grandmother was from? Your mom didn't say shit? She had to come from somewhere, either immigrated from another country or came from the South. If she's black, right? It's just find out where your parents are from and where your grandparents are from. You knew your grandmother. Your grandmother has a birth certificate, brother. Look at the birth certificate and see where she was born. And then see what her mother and father's name was. It's on the birth certificate. And then see where they were born. You trace it back like that. And if you can go all the way back to the 1870 census, that make you a foundational Black American. All you got to do is just trace the parents back. Okay, some of these folks, you don't know where your mama's really from. Okay, like my mom's from New York. We kind of lost, and then, okay. Folks, okay. I don't know how y'all don't be knowing where your mama from. And you don't know your mama's side of the family. At least I can understand the dad's side might be a little sketchy. You don't know your mama's side of the family? See, that raises red flags.
Extreme red flags.
That raises a lot of red flags
Extreme
from folks
red
don't be
flags.
knowing what their mama's side of the family
Like,
is.
stop it.
Okay. That's weird.
And
I agree.
I feel like they want us to
I concur.
spend our energy on this conversation when we really need to be focusing our energy on more practical things.
So Lord Jamar said I guess white supremacy, want us to focus on reparations over more practical things. This is Lord Jamar. Lord Jamar, yeah, boy, not mine. Lord Jamar, I stand on business. Lord Jamar says that whoever that is, white supremacy, the Bilderbergers, Illuminati, DuPont family, they want us to talk about reparations, which is divisive according to him, rather than more practical things. So he doesn't even see the reparations conversation as practical. But y'all say this guy's FBA when he says he's not. Okay, one more time.
On this conversation when we really need to, and
that's weird.
And I feel like they want us to spend our energy on this conversation when we really need to be focusing our energy on more practical things.
So when are we gonna get ready? We're just not gonna be ready for it, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna blame white people for systemically oppressing us for generations. Yes. We're not even gonna try it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need to. I'm not saying.
I mean, I know, but you just made the point that
Right. You made the point that you, Lord Jamar, so we ain't gonna just try, we should just give up. That's Rod Digger. Okay? Because you said these things. You, Lord Jamar, you said these anti-FBA, anti-ADOS, anti-reparations claims. You said that, my boy. I'm only going by what you said. I'm Rod Digger, and I'm going by what you said. Rod Digger's FBA, ADOS, free person, all the straight rider. I love that woman.
African Americans won't get a piece of that. Whereas when it was vice versa back in 2016, the Jamaicans were saying, hey, African Americans, we want a piece of that too. Because
so the Jamaicans were saying, we want a piece of your reparations, what he's going into. He's showing you the hypocrisy and contradiction of the Caribbean people and Jamaica specifically.
Get a piece of that. Whereas when it was vice versa back in 2016, the Jamaicans were saying, hey, African Americans, we want a piece of that too, because we were all on the same boat and just got dropped off in different places.
Oh, really?
But do you see how the Jamaicans turned on them?
You heard Godfrey. Godfrey said, but do you see how the Jamaicans turned on them? This Nigerian warrior, Godfrey. He said, do you see how the Jamaicans turned on you? Godfrey's been a rider, but you guys choose Lord Jamar over Godfrey. Lord Jamar is a weirdo. He's a weirdo that believes the earth is flat. And Godfrey is sound as hell, but you guys choose Lord Jamar over Godfrey. That to me is weird. Okay, because y'all are weird. So I choose Godfrey is my brother. He's Nigerian, but he's still my brother, and he's been so far, he's been repping us and standing behind us. I stand behind him. I stand behind all of our non-FBA, non-ADOS allies. I stand behind all of them. Right? I rep them more than the coon class that's within us.
Really?
But do you see how the Jamaicans turned on them?
They're saying, African Americans, you don't get a piece of this.
But he's talking about CARICOM. He's saying that when in 2016, when we, FBAs, ADOS, made a claim for reparations, he's saying that the Jamaicans, specifically Jamaicans, said, nah, we want in on that. But when CARICOM popped up, they said, nah. This is for the Caribbean only. That's what Artie Stacks just said.
Oh, really?
But do you see how the Jamaicans turned on them?
They're saying, African Americans, you don't get a piece of this. That's the talking.
But you see what I'm saying? How disrespectful they've been to them.
You heard Godfrey? He said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is how disrespectful Jamaicans, been to FBA's ADOS. Now, let's wrap this up.
A. Philip Randolph Owen founded The Messenger, an African-American socialist journal
the cholera that they were defecating in their drinking water and gave them cholera, and they owe them big money. We never hear about these things. We never hear about the illegal mining. And the people are practicing in their front yards, and the mines are caving in on them in Africa, and all kinds of different. The preachers over there shaving women's vaginas during a Sunday service, and they're praising it. People in the congregations, can't wait to get theirs shaved. The women, it's craziness. Why aren't they talking about that? Why are they over here in our Kool-Aid and don't know the flavor?
Yes. Well, yeah, Ricardo. Yes, it's Brother Reggie. So okay. In the United States, there's freedom of speech, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So individuals have freedom of speech, and corporations too. Those are the kind of super people, corporations. Okay. The problem would be if there was a organization or a lobbyist group that was preventing or talking bad about us. But in the United States, there's things called the discrimination laws. There's city, county, state, federal discrimination laws. So if that speech moved past to harming us rather than just speech, hyperbole, right, then there would be reasons for concern. You could find people talking about us, but in the history of the United States, you can find issues of Irish and Jewish and Italians and other immigrant groups that came here with things to say. It's when they form a lobby group, right, an organization, that I think that there would be, and they interfere in progress, that would be a problem. For us to not look what we have in the United States as far as the little fragile unity that we have, and to do infighting when these other groups of people come in who are European and Asian and other groups, it would be problematic. It would be more problematic. Like the Asian groups fought against affirmative action, right? They with the Harvard case, right? And affirmative action was overturned because they felt that there was selective emissions to Black Americans. Those type of things are really problematic, more detrimental than individuals running their mouth about issues. So Unbiased told me not to talk about reparations, which is hard to do, is because FBA was formed because of reparations. So then I have to go to the point, if that's his barrier for me, then I have to say that well, these individuals, they don't move the needle when it comes to Black progress in the United States. They don't. But we could pay attention to it. I don't have a problem paying attention to it. And I don't have a problem with Tariq Rashid singling it out. But at the same breath, he since he's the spokesperson, he needs to make analysis of these other groups of people who have organized themselves into groups and now are lobbyists, and they're rolling back things like affirmative action and gain any support gains of civil rights, right? That's more detrimental because they're trying to roll back civil rights. So you've seen the attack on the DEI, right? So those groups, I think that if FBA was focused, they would engage those groups on those issues. And this is not talking about reparations. So what do you have to say about that? What I just said? and I'll summarize it. Individuals don't move the needle. Attacking Black people based on what they say when everybody has freedom of speech. And the fact of the matter is, again, people don't move the needle, organizations do, and we do have a threat. We have a threat of all these Ukrainians, Slavs, all these other groups coming, and then we have the migrant groups coming, eating our food, and we want to pay attention to a few Black migrants, immigrants that you call. And the other problem is that it was Black people, Booker T. Washington, that asked for them to come and defeated the African exclusion measure, right? And so so that culminated into a combined movement of largely Black Americans and some Caribbeans in the Garvey movement, where no matter if you think Garvey is a scammer or not, the fact of the matter is that we had enormous boost of businesses during the Garvey movement. We was moving to self-reliance, and both groups were. So my question to you is the infighting really relevant to the big picture?
Wait, hold on. Let me take that one right there. You could go back. Because I caught a couple of things you said. I paid attention to words. First of all, he called what we're saying attacking, but he called what they're saying freedom of speech. Dude, stop. So again, you're trying to phrase what we're doing. We're talking too. We're using freedom of speech too.
Correct.
But you're saying,
and I said that.
No, but you call it attacking, and you said what they only have is freedom of speech. Bro, they're coming over here saying ill things about FBAs for no reasons, unwarranted. They don't even know it, and you call that freedom of speech. And when we respond to that, I mean, you sound like a white supremacist. Like they come start the trouble.
You say I sound like a what?
White supremacist, because they come and start the trouble.
I'm not a white supremacist.
That's how you sound like that because the argument you made.
No.
Okay, look.
Because I said that we attack,
and you said we attack, and they have a freedom of right to speak. So do we.
We have a freedom of speech. They have a freedom of speech.
Right. So why is our freedom of speech called attacking?
No, our freedom of speech is not less. We have more of a population.
But why is it called attacking when we're responding?
Well, here's the thing. What you're deleting is the attacks that our people do who are not well educated.
But that second hand though. Let's talk about the people who are.
No, that you can't discredit. You can't. There's no way that you can discredit what I'm saying. I'm saying people. I'm biased sports. I'm saying people can say anything. It don't move the needle.
Okay, fine. But words hurt, and words. Wait, hold on.
Okay, well, your words can hurt on both sides.
Right. Okay, I got it. Right. But hold on.
It don't move the needle.
I know. No, it does something far more treacherous. For example, there's a reason why there's a such thing called anti-Semitism, because words hurt and words can culminate to something more devious, like the Holocaust. There's a reason why there's something called anti-Asian hate, because words could manifest themselves to attack Asians only. And there's a reason why there's something called racism, because words towards African Americans can translate to burning crosses on your front lawn and bombing up schools. So yeah, it starts with words, and then actions normally follow. The KKK start off with words, and then all of a sudden they became the worst domestic terrorists in the country. So yeah, so now there's something called stopping it before it starts. So we have these anti-Semitism things there to stop it, to discourage it from happening. So when they come over here with their discrimination, because they have these preconceived notions about us. Here's the difference, Brother Reggie. They come here with a thought about us that we don't have about them. They believe we're lazy. They believe we're gangsters out their own mouth. we're complainers because
those are words. Those are the
but hold on. But
they don't move the needle.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Give me an organization.
It's my goal. So now, for me, those words matter. They do move the needle because they move into our communities with those words, and we work with them, and they become our bosses, employer, or the banker. Yeah. So those words matter when we're not getting that loan, when we're not getting that job, when they're the police officer, and we're getting that ticket. Yeah. So those words manifest as something ugly. So we're responding to discourage that. Hey, if you do that, okay, fine, good luck, because we're gonna delineate, and you hold your own nuts when something happens to y'all from these white supremacists. You'll be marching by yourself. You ain't gonna have this big, massive march to get justice. It be you and 6 other niggas with flip flops trying to get justice.
Okay, well,
can I say something, Reggie? Can I say something real quick, Reggie?
Okay.
We got to remember that, this is another thing that I've been saying too, is that the civil rights that we fought for has been taken over. At first it was, they gave it to the white woman. And then it seems like every other movement that comes along, they put those people in front of us like they did the white woman, and we get pushed further to the back of the line, receiving none of the benefits of the things that we and our ancestors fought for to get to this point. So that has to be understood first and foremost. And all these people that are coming over here are not ruled by America. They are ruled by different countries. So if you're talking about reparations, why are you in our conversation? Why aren't you talking to the Queen of England? Or what is it, the Balfour Declaration? I know you know this, Reggie. They split up Africa. Was that them, or am I saying the wrong one, brother?
What did the Balfour?
You mean the Berlin conference?
Yeah. Okay. So
there you go, Haskell. What's up, Haskell? There you go. Yeah. See, like that. See, they're defeated. Those countries are defeated. Jamaica is defeated. We're still throwing punches. We're still fighting the good fight, but get pushed to the back of the line for the civil rights that we fought and died for.
Okay, so
our ancestors and us.
Okay, so let me just add. Okay, so there is a real enemy, and the real enemy is disorganization of Black people in America, right? For the best interest of all of our people that are here. I don't
mean to cut you off, but let me say this real quick. The real enemy is the one who has no accountability. We don't hold them accountable. Like you said, the corporations, like the Virginia Company, like the West Indian Company, like the Catholic Church, all of these things that put us into this position, into slavery.
Okay,
the origins of this scientific racism and all this.
Reclaim my time.
From the Latins, from the Latins, because they are Latins. That's Latino. Their language is Latin. All of that.
Can I reclaim my time?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So the real enemy to our people is disorganization. I do not think, and I do not agree that Black Americans should not delineate themselves in certain circumstances, but in the circumstances that you have just mentioned, it is the courts, right? It is the courts, the Supreme Court and the local courts, right, which are the real enemies, because they are creating ghost cases to roll back civil rights. On our side, it takes organization, funding, right? The average federal case costs $100,000. The average federal case costs $100,000. A case supporting these big things requires really $50 million, $100 million to fight cases. We have to organize to point out matters that we are suffering from. And then we have to deal with it in federal court. The real enemy, again, is our disorganization. The second, and that's not the second, the first enemy is the oppressor. The second enemy is our lack of organization, right? So it's the oppressor, and then it's a lack of organization and being able to see the big picture. So you know, I'm not a lawyer, but I did a federal case myself, and I've helped my former wife in 2 EEOC cases, and she was able to settle in the EEOC office and not have a case, but settle with the company. I know federal law pretty well, but I do think is that our community needs an education and seeing the big picture instead of fighting ghost wars amongst ourselves. Because again, Booker T. Washington, in his foresight, saw the depleting populations of Black people and said, and we need help, and so asked for the African exclusion measure to be defeated, and it was defeated. And so my whole thing is trying to find out who the real enemies are. So tomorrow I'll do I will examine the in the matter of the reparations of African Americans case from Pelman Farmer, which was our last big reparation case that we lost. I will tell you why we lost it. And there are 2 reparation cases going on right now. There's the Tulsa reparations case, and then the Malcolm X reparations case. In those 2 matters, those are federal cases. Those are the only 2 federal cases that we have on board. So there, HR 40 has not been renewed, right? So the question is why fight ghost wars when we can fight the bigger picture, right? So if in fact our civil rights are being threatened, right, then we need to organize against the oppressor that's rolling back all of our rights. That's the big picture, because that impacts companies and people discriminating against us, right? And slow justice against our people. Those we need to fight what's happening with these police officers that have immunity, right? We need to know how to defeat those matters, because those are the things that threaten us day to day. Police abuse, right? And we need to focus on what's happening in certain cities and counties that are largely white as they discriminate against us, right? And they create the situation where police empowered. And we have to fight against the Democratic Party that allow these migrants to come in. They're not our friends. They allowed these migrants to come in because their whole point was to get these migrants in because they thought these migrants would be more likely ultimately to vote Democrat, right? And they were trying to allow migrants to vote in local elections, and that was curtailed, right? Not by us, but so my point is there are ghost fights, and then there is the real.
Yeah, finish your point. You can let Haskell go. Go ahead, Reggie. Finish your point up so Haskell.
No, I finished because I don't. I was asking the brother to talk about that, but I will finish for Haskell. 45.
Hey man, how y'all doing, man?
What's up?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
What's up, Haskell? What's going on? Happy New Year,
Yeah,
bro.
man. What the hell is going on, bro? Dog, I couldn't believe, bro, when my goddamn algorithm showed me a channel named FBA United. And I clicked on the channel, and it's none other than unbiased FBA out, bro. What is going on, bro? What universe am I in? Like, I don't know what, bruh. Even all right. What's crazy? You know what's crazy, IBM? I'm hearing things that 4 years ago, 3 years ago, unbiased used to berate people like you who would bring up Jim Crow, sharecropping, redlining, convict leasing, and all of this shit. You know what unbiased called that stuff 4 years ago, 3 years ago? What did he call it? IBM. What did he call it? Excuses.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Excuses. So
it's an excuse. You rob an old lady today and say, "Hey, Jim Crow," that's an excuse. But Jim Crow during Jim Crow, like being targeted, that's not an excuse. Well, my thing was, you gotta be held accountable for your actions. Everybody needs to be held accountable for their actions, right? So there's never just a real justification to really do a crime. You can't really justify that. And if you get caught, you gotta hold the L.
Yeah, not a justification for a crime, mind you. But listen, I like what Reggie said about these ghost wars because ultimately all roads lead back to white supremacy, right?
Racism is white supremacy. Like I've taught for years, racism is white supremacy, period.
But that's what I'm saying, IBM. All roads lead back. And like Neely Fuller always says, if you don't truly understand white supremacy, you won't understand anything. Everything will confound you. So for me, these diaspora wars or what you want to call them, like I'm a Jamaican tether, proudly, right?
What's a tether?
Listen, I don't fucking know what that shit is.
Hey,
and I don't care. Right? Wait, hold on. I'm going to give you a definition. It's something that a snake oil selling, rabble rousing, charlatan has recently conjured up as his new as his new niche industry, right? It's something that he co-opted from real activists, and I can't believe I'm agreeing with fucking Chief X of all goddamn people.
Lord.
Can you imagine that? Listen, you know the world is upside down. You know the world is upside down when you're agreeing with Chief X. Chief X said, Tariq Nasheed usurped and co-opted Yvette and Tone's movement, right? For what it's worth, Tone is a licensed professional. Yvette worked on Capitol Hill. When they established ADOS, right, they were clear about their objectives. They said this is an advocacy organization, and what we're working towards mainly is reparations, and not just reparations that are restorative and that basically sets the Black American population back on an even footing, right? Because they've been basically had your development retarded and stagnated by policies such as Jim Crow, slavery, convict leasing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? And they had economists like Sandy Darity draft up actual plans, and right, these are, for better or for worse, I can say, looking at them, they are serious people, right? And I would listen to Tone Talks, right? And he said, we need to disaggregate. And I fully agree with them as a Jamaican because divisions are necessary for order. There's a reason why you have, in Europe, everybody isn't European. right? You have Estonia, you have Albania, you have Germany, you have France, whatever. Having ethnic divisions and is necessary for order. So I was in full support of that, right? Now, they made an error, in my opinion, when they focus on the trivial matter of people like my aunts and stuff talking shit, acting like they're better than black Americans. You know why they talk like that? And these are my family members. You know why they talk like that, unbiased?
What?
They talk like that for the same reason why certain black people here talk with this sense of superiority. It's because
Wait,
they're
superiority
ignorant.
to who? That's a lie. Superiority to who?
It's because they're ignorant.
No, but
video.
what
Listen,
superiority talk that we have? That's what I'm
what? All your homeboy talks about these days is hairlines. You have superior hairlines.
No, but that's after the fact. No, that's okay. So again, you see, and this is what Brother Reggie does.
I'm not done, Elbias.
Okay,
Give me a second. Right? So according to Tyreek, you guys have, among other things, superior hairlines, a superior sense of fashion, superior in cuisine, superior musically, superior fashion-wise, superior in industry, superior morally, superior in all ways, right? But again, I'm gonna say it again. I hear my people talk that stupid shit all the time too, and they're equally as regressive and as stupid as the niggas who talk that shit here. Because ultimately, it's a handicapped nigga fighting a blind nigga, right? Because Tone them pointed it out. White American wealth in America, I forgot it. Well, back then he was saying it was like 115 trillion. I think right now it's probably up to like 130 trillion. And he said black American wealth was like somewhere from 3 to 6 trillion, with 40% of that being in like pensions and mostly held by boomers, and virtually none of it liquid. Like the middle American family is worth like $0. That's the middle American family, right? Me coming from a place like Jamaica, having 2 pair of shoes and shit, right? Coming here talking like I'm superior to some black Americans because I feel like we work harder or whatever dumb shit. That shit is stupid. But the counter to that is for you to go down into the mud with those people and claim some superiority because you have air condition and Jordan 1s. No, you don't follow they stupid ass. The dumb motherfuckers from Jamaica and the stupid motherfuckers from Africa talking that stupid shit. You don't follow them and fight fire with fire. No. And Yvette and Tone, they made that mistake, right? But they tried to reverse course. But what happened is Tariq seized on the most trivial parts of their movement and magnified that shit. He turned the ethnophobia and the ethnocentrism, he turned that shit up times 100. He started talking about hairlines, people eating bush meat, right? People being funky.
I was talking on mute. My bad. Hey man, peace. Who am I speaking with from the chat? Caller, you hear me? 347. Where you at? Three, 4, 7. Where you at? You just called in. Make sure my microphone works. 347. You called in. Okay, he hung up. All right. So maybe he thought I wasn't gonna answer the phone call. You know, if I give the number, I'm gonna let you guys talk. We can have a small dialogue. All right. You don't gotta hang up because I actually allowed you on. You thought this wasn't live?
Trivial parts of their.
So sometimes you guys think this ain't live. Okay, this is actually live, as you just found out. All right. So anyway, you want to have a discussion, dialogue about something? It don't got to be an argument. Just call back. No. Listen, bro. We're talking about Europeans. The Northern Europe, Southern Europe, Eastern Europe, and Western Europe. All of them came over here. They got checked for diseases. They took a literacy test. They got examined like hell before they was invited to this country. Nobody got in this country without screening.
Garvey didn't have permanent residence in the United States.
But it doesn't matter. Look, listen, bro.
He did not come here illegally. He was invited, and at that time you had no limitation on stay.
Okay, but listen what I'm saying, though, because you're talking over me. You're just talking around what I'm saying. I'm saying anybody get in this country, they went through screening. You cannot bring diseases over here.
Are you saying that Garvey got in here illegally? That Garvey came illegally?
Look, okay, he's put the question back on me.
I'm asking a question.
Okay.
No, you asked the question, and I told you that he was invited.
Okay,
so you're implying.
Okay.
Are you saying that Garvey came here illegally?
Look, no, don't flip it back on me. Because I said you don't know more Garvey than me. I'm gonna prove it. So I was asking you a question because you said, hold on.
The first thing you did is lie. You lie on Garvey that he came here illegally.
No. I asked you the question because I know you don't know Garvey. Okay. So just say you don't. So do you? So no, you said he got invited, but
he got an invitation.
I can't. Okay. Wait. How does W. Du Bois? Whoa. How does W. Du Bois?
It wasn't W. Du Bois.
No. You talking Booker T. Washington? You talking Booker T. Washington?
Yeah, Booker T. Washington sent him an invitation.
Cool. Okay. Now watch this. Watch this.
Hello?
Oh, I'm on mute again. Give me 1 second to change your name so your number won't show. All right, so what's your name in the chat?
Shate Indes.
Okay, all right. Yeah, okay, I see the brother asked for the link. Let me just change your name real quick so your phone number won't show. There we go, I see it. All right, give me a second. So okay. All right. So now, what was your question in the chat?
Oh, my question was, what's up with all the division? Trying to divide us.
Explain what you mean by division. Like, what division do you believe is happening?
So basically, we arguing over a reparation that's hypothetical because it's not real. We're not going to get that.
When you say we, are you FBA or ADOS?
We, black people, anyone, no one is going to get anything.
Okay, why do you believe that? Why are you so pessimistic about what's owed to black people of the world?
Because it would have happened already if that was if it was going to happen. What's going to happen already?
Are you familiar with the civil rights struggle over here in America?
Yes.
Okay, so did civil rights happen already, or do we have to fight for it for 100 years and finally get it?
Yeah, that's not the same thing.
Yes, the same thing. There was something else owed to us. We were not getting it. We fought for 100 years and we finally got it. What's different?
Well, that's not the same. Is there any anything going on currently? I didn't even call for this reason. I'll call for my experience as a Jamaican that grew up in America.
Okay, so you don't want to talk about that. All right, no problem. Okay, so go ahead and explain your situation. Go ahead.
So basically, I came to America when I was 13, right? I came to Brooklyn, New York. I immediately had problems with African American. I had no idea. I don't know anything that's going on.
explain what happened. So you're 14. Were you like in high school or middle school? What grade?
No, 13. 13.
Okay, so middle school. Okay, so junior high. So what happened? Like, what happened when you came over here?
No.
Give some
So when
examples.
I came over here, basically, I don't know American culture that well at the time when I came here. And so I saw gangs going on, and I thought it was like a normal thing until later got older, and I know it's a lot different. No, I got older, they was telling me that, gangs just started coming into the community while the same time I got there. So I thought it was like a normal thing. They immediately come and have a problem with these gang members. I don't even did anything to them just because I'm Jamaican.
Yeah, but gang members bother everybody. Like, gang members wasn't cool with me. Gang members pretty much have a beef with anybody who's not part of their clique, part of the gang. So that wasn't your experience. That's most people experience with gangs. People don't really have positive experience with gang members.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm telling you my experience as someone older now. In telling you, if I took that as in like, I have a problem with all Americans because I have a problem with those gang members. The same thing goes towards Jamaicans.
That's not the same. No, that's not okay. No. That's not the same.
No, because you guys are saying like these random Jamaicans that say something bad about Americans.
Wait, so
I don't say anything bad about Americans.
Wait, slow down. So that's not what we're saying. We're hearing from not just Jamaicans, but people of the Caribbean and Africans of the continent. We're hearing from you guys. There's something called diaspora wars that you guys do, and you guys say that your mothers taught you to hate us, and the other half of you guys say you got it from movies. So is there any truth to that? Is there any? Hold on, let me get the question out.
No, there's
hold on, let me get the.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. So basically, the Jamaicans and Caribbean folks who said movies and their parents telling them bad stuff about Black Americans, FBA's, ADOS, that's false. So they were lying about that. And everybody on YouTube who are saying their parents and movies brought them their stereotypes against us over here in America, they're all lying.
I'm telling you, I never had any experience like that. My grandma.
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you. I'm saying
I never heard that before. I swear to God, I never heard that before.
Because you so your parents never gamed you on hating Black. Okay, that's good. So you're not one of those, but you can't speak for them. You can't say they're lying. If they're telling you an experience that happened with them and their parents, you can't say they're lying because it's not just the Caribbeans. You got Nigerians and people from Ghana and Somalia. They're saying the same thing. They're saying their mothers told them bad stuff about FBAs and ADOS.
Like I told you, that's what I was referring to as if you heard something bad about someone. If I came and my experience was bad.
But that's different because you're an individual. So no, your one experience should not represent 43 million FBAs, right? Now, if you continuously, and you say gang members, that's a whole, we're not gang members. Matter of fact, gang members is a mixed way. I got it. But listen, gang members, Haitians can be part of a Black. Okay, got it. Listen to what I'm saying. When you say gang members, that's not even all FBA. You got Haitians in those Black gangs like Kodak Black. You got Puerto Ricans in those Black gangs, and you have Jamaicans in those Black gangs and people from the Caribbean. So Black gangs aren't just members of FBAs. You got you guys in our gangs.
Yes, correct. But you wouldn't know if I came to America and that was all in my experience. Now I'm talking bad about Americans. So that's all I was saying.
No.
You
but first of all, you were a kid. Okay, so now you're mixing up things right now. We're not giving you kid experiences about Caribbean people of the diaspora and Black Africans of the continent. We're not giving you kid experiences, bro. We're not talking about when we were 13. I'm 47. We're talking about experiences right now in 2025. We're saying people like DJ Academics, who's a grown man, who did a whole documentary on Chicago that was not needed. So he resurrected a bloodbath in Chicago. This is who we would call a tether. This is a Jamaican man who made his fame of disrespecting and degenerizing. Well, he just degenerating our culture as a whole. Like he giving a bad representation on FBA code. That's one. Hold on. But that's one. Let me go another one. Q.
I was going to talk about academics.
Okay, wait. Before you do that, let me get you two more. One more, and you can go. So that's one guy who's making Black Americans look like SHIT. And then you have Q from World Star Hip Hop. He's in Haitian. Now he had the World Star where he showed again Black people in a negative light before the world. So these two people are showing the image, not just nationally, but internationally, a negative, poor representation of Black Americans. So these are a Haitian and a Jamaican. And I could keep going on, but I'll stop right there. Go ahead.
So DJ Academics, for example, is not like, he's a different Jamaican. Like, so basically DJ Academics is from a good family. I wasn't grew up the same way he grew up. You know, he came to America, yeah. It's like, if you from a different country, you come to America, you have to understand that people from a different country that legally come to America, they have to have money in order to come to America. So usually those people are the upper class in whatever country they come from. So when they come to America, they look down on Americans as a group because everyone's combined, you know. So they look down on African Americans. So I don't know if they don't understand that you're speaking of African Americans as a whole, but they just looking at them as they lazy and stuff like that. When I don't, you know, because it's not logical, it's not, you know, you can say the same thing about Jamaicans in Jamaica, you know, about the other being lazy. But because they're from an upper class, they have that feeling. So that's the reason why I'm saying you're trying to divide people when this goes on for even in America. People in America, upper class, they look down on people that are like poor the same way. So if you're from a different country now, you have the same, but you think it's like it's because they're from a different country when it's really people in general think that way. You understand what I'm saying? Hello?
Yeah. Okay. So now let me ask you this. All right. So
bottom line. Do you have a problem?
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. So let's get to the bottom line. Do you have a problem with Black Americans, who we call FBAs and some say ADOS? Do you have a problem with us asking our government for reparations for reparative damages that was caused by this government towards us?
No, because like out of race, the J people, they got it, and they never happened in America. So that's the reason why I don't understand why the fighting over something.
Wait, hold on. Stop. You see, you're trying to fast forward. I'm starting from a position so we can go towards the future or the current, the present. I'm just thinking of one thing. Okay. So you said, no, you don't have a problem with us. Do you have a problem with us delineating or saying we're Black, but we're different Black than the Jamaicans or the Caribbeans and the Africans? Do you have a problem with us saying we're different? We're Black like them, but we're different.
I get it, but like African, you compared Africans to Jamaicans or African to people in the Caribbean, but they were never slaves. So all you comparing those people.
No, we're not.
You understand the difference?
No, I think you're just being extreme and everything. So you keep okay. Are you divisive?
Say it again.
Are you divisive?
As in what?
Do you like to divide and cause problems? Divide and cause problems, cause trouble.
No.
Okay, well, stop doing it. Now, I'm just asking simple questions. Okay, so now, do you believe Jamaicans have stake in our reparations claim here in the United States? Do you believe that you should get some of our money if it was ever afforded to us?
I don't really care
That's
that
not
much.
the question.
All I
That's
care
that's
about
not
is
the,
the
that's not the question. Whether you care or not. I
Oh
asked did
no.
you. Okay, cool. Do
Oh,
you
I said.
care? Okay, cool. Do you care about Jamaicans receiving reparations from their claim that they had with CARICOM? Do you care about that?
No.
So do you believe that the Jamaicans were done wrong by the British government when they were colonized and forced to do slave labor?
Yes.
So you don't think so you
in
don't
the
think
same
so
sense.
so wait, hold on. So you don't I just know but it's yes or no. You said yes. So you don't think that the British government owed them for the free labor they had them do, and British became a superpower as a result of the free labor of Jamaicans and other Caribbeans and other Caribbean people. So they get to just ride off in the sunset, and Jamaica as a result is a third world country still now. So now are you saying the British, you're fine with the British never repairing Jamaica with some money?
Are you a
You're fine with
historian?
that? No, yeah, well, no,
Are
I
you
know basic
you
history.
asking me questions without no detail. It's like asking someone yes or no with no detail.
Okay, so
You believe in so you
right,
follow
go.
history, right?
Sure.
You know, in history, there's many people been slaves.
Brother,
So you
I'm
think
talking
they should
about
go back through history? You see, that's what I'm saying
what
to
are you
you.
talking about, bro? I'm talking about Jamaican. I'm not talking about slavery I'm saying Jamaican slavery, bro. I'm talking about your people, your homeland, your lineage. This dude don't even care about himself. Dude, you do want to hold them responsible, right? You think that was good? You think that was a good thing for the British to take Africans from Africa, bring them to the Caribbean, enslave them, make them do free labor, then colonize them for another 130 years to get up into their third world country fleeing?
Could I ask you a question? Do you think it was right for Africans to catch, to sell their own people?
No.
Well, are you going to punish them? Are you going to do something about it?
We're working backwards. Well, we're starting from the present. We work backwards. So we're not going to spread ourselves thin. That's stupid. We're going to focus on one government first, and then we'll go backwards and eventually get everybody involved, including UK. But we're going to start what's in front of us. You work a problem by dealing with what's in front of you. Then you go back to the root cause. But you got to deal with what's in front of you. So, for example, if you got a toothache, you got to deal with the pain right now. And then you can go back to the root cause of the pain.
Okay, so I get your mindset. Yeah, I get that.
Okay, so
I mean, but Jamaicans are not fighting for any reparation from Britain. So
yes, they are. There's something, but you don't know your history. There's something called CARICOM in Jamaica.
I'm fully American now.
So that's fighting that's fighting for reparations. What are you talking about? They're literally fighting for reparations.
I grew up. I've been in America for over 30 years.
Okay.
I live in America I've never been back to Jamaica.
Okay. Well, why? Why you don't want to go back?
I tell anyone, if I thought Jamaica was better to live in than America, I would be in Jamaica.
Yeah, but it could be better if you go back and help build it up. It's never going to be better if y'all keep coming over here.
What do you mean we coming over here? I've been here. Do you know how the government works? You need immigration. No matter, we don't produce enough people, so you need immigration. You know that's normal, right?
One more time, say that again. Go ahead.
Do you know immigration is normal? We need people to come to America. It doesn't matter, but you need them to come legally.
But that's our problem. I'm talking about Jamaica problem. Jamaica has a problem with.
No, but what I'm saying is, I came to America legally.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, a lot of Jamaicans come here legally.
So, but you tell me to go back to Jamaica.
That's not what I said. Only
I came here legally.
No, that's not what I said only. I said your country needs your, don't you think you're smart? You're smart.
Yes. But
okay.
You see, the problem with Jamaica is the same.
Bro, listen, I asked a question. Let me go. You asked a question. I answered very quickly and I was quiet. So you're smart. So Jamaica needs more smart people. The smart people of Jamaica are leaving, and is leaving Jamaica just with the degenerates there to run the country. That's why your government is in a sham. Now, how many jackets do you have? Do you have any?
Well, you talking about? I don't have any jackets. Were you talking about kids? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 kids, but they're not jacket. Jacket referred to.
I know.
If you didn't know, that was your kids.
Well, no, jackets is a woman deliberately lying, saying the kid is yours and it isn't. So it's a scam. It's a scam system.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the worst in the world.
Yeah. But I have literally my kids that I divorced and, I take full-time custody. I mean, not full 50-50.
Yeah, I got what you're
but
saying.
normally a lot of guys that they say they're fathers, but they don't, they see their kids at once. No, I see that their kids like 4 times a week.
All right. That's great. Great to hear that. Now, yeah, but you don't want to see Jamaica built up to a great country?
Yes, but Jamaica have similar problems like America. They're being controlled right now by.
No, like there's no
like
job.
Jamaica. What do you mean?
Okay, so the homes in Jamaica look like they put together woods and sticks together, like, and built a home. Like the homes out there are terrible. And like I said, Jamaica would love to see you back over there building up Jamaica, man.
You see what's the crazy thing about TV? It lets you think like the places, it's like
no.
You remember we grew up growing up, right?
Wait, that's not my reference.
No, you remember growing up, we see all those videos on Ethiopia and all those kids. It's kind of like that.
I got you, but you can't lie on my reference. My reference wasn't TV. My reference was Jamaicans themselves and the country. The country complains about the brain drain issue. You don't know what that is, but the country.
I'm saying that.
Yeah, but the country is complaining. So it ain't just me. My reference ain't TV. My reference is the country officials and the residents saying it's terrible. Like so many guys get deported from the UK to Jamaica and they be crying. Oh, like they say it's a hellhole. Okay, don't make me show a video. So there are deportees from
Jamaica
the UK, and they come back to Jamaica
pretty corrupt.
Not just corrupt.
Right?
Oh yeah, it's corrupt because the smart people leave. And you're left with the degenerates, and they run your government and your police force, and they're corrupt because you guys keep leaving. So why don't you fight corruption? Go back there, be a policeman, be a politician, and help make Jamaica great.
The police officers is the most corrupt one. So all
right,
that
because all the smart
it doesn't. It's a system thing.
So he's not getting it, brother.
I know what you're saying, but I'm not in Jamaican. I grew up in America. You understand this, right?
I need you back in Jamaica, helping make your country great again, bro. That shouldn't be a hard favor.
Right now, my brother was like the same thing like me, and he hasn't been back in like 20 years. And for the past like 7 years, he's been back. And he's like building his own houses and stuff like that, but you cannot change the system.
No, you can change the system. See, now that weak mentality, like, see, if we thought like that, we'll still be in Jim Crow. See, that's not FBA's think. We don't think like that. We don't think. And keep in mind, your fight is easier because you're fighting yourselves over there. We're fighting a whole different people. The Europeans. We're fighting Europeans, and we're the minority. We don't have that mindset that you can't change the system. We say F that. We ain't living in this current system as it is. We're gonna fight like hell to make changes, and we so far been victorious.
But all right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You don't think like when you could see, say you have a villain, and you could see the evil. Isn't it easier to fight someone that you could see, but when you cannot see?
Bro, we can't see white systematics. Bro, we can't see white supremacy. White supremacy is invisible. So we got the same. So we got a similar invisible force like you. We just not afraid. We go out there and we go look for it and find it anyway. We put on infrared goggles and get out there and find it. We identify it and we ask for the fade. And y'all should do the same. It's easier and it's not invisible. They look just like you, and they're in government and they're in the police force. You can go over there and really go out there.
But I'm telling you, in America, at least if someone gets killed, they could pretend or lie. In Jamaica, they don't even need to lie. That's the difference. They don't even need to lie that, you know, the cop killed someone. They don't even need to lie. And they won't do anything about it.
Who won't do anything about it?
Oh, the government won't do anything about it.
No, you won't do anything about it because you could be part of the government. So you're not doing anything about it as well. You're just as bad as them. None of y'all doing anything about it. That's the problem. We need somebody to care. We need y'all to care about what's going on. Those are your lineage people being shot down, and they don't need an excuse. They don't need to say, hey, man, he was breaching. That's terrible what you're telling me. So I need you to love your people like we love our people, man. Get over there and make a difference.
But where does the people? Let me ask you a question. Where does the people start at? Is all black people the same people?
It started at the grassroots.
No,
I mean with you.
So where did the line get cut off? All right, say we say slavery happened, and same people, they decided to stop in Jamaica. Some decided to go to America. So the line cut off right there, right? Is that what you're telling me?
No, what I'm saying is Jamaica got their independence in what year? Do you know?
I think it was, there was given, so it's not really.
No, well,
it's not really.
They got
it's like a pretend thing. It's like a pretend. It's a pretend thing.
Bro. They have. Well, you got a flag. Well, then throw that flag in the trash if that's not your independent flag. Your independent flag. Why y'all cosplaying as an independent country? Y'all don't believe in it. See, I don't like that. So y'all should go ahead and
a lot of people fighting it. Have you ever? There's a guy on YouTube called Surfy, right? You won't understand because he's Jamaican, but like he's fighting against the system. He's fighting against that.
So why are you not helping him?
What do you mean I'm not helping him?
Why are you not helping him fight against the system?
He's doing it right now, and people are supporting him. What do you mean? You don't know what I'm doing.
Are you supporting him? Yes or no?
Oh, I support him.
Okay, and where is he at, by the way?
Oh, this is so like it's not. That's what I'm telling you. I don't know where you're getting the Jamaican information
from.
I'm
getting it from you right now.
I'm telling you, it's so. It's so bad that he cannot tell his location because they will go kill him. You understand? So he's doing it anonymous.
So they got the Jamaican clan over there. The Jamaican KKK.
No, he's doing it anonymous. This is how stuff goes. Like it looks, because you don't experience it, you don't understand it.
Right. So I'm asking you about the experience. I could try to empathize. I could try to sympathize. So I'm asking questions, brother. It's okay. Now, is he in the country? Is what I was asking.
Yes.
Okay. So how are you helping him? Do you plan on joining him?
Oh, you support him because first what he's trying to do, he's trying to save people mindset, like the black people in Jamaica. He's trying to change their mindset of thinking. Right. The way that in America, like people, hip hop, rap and stuff, people celebrate being like who's the toughest, who's the gangster. People celebrate that the same way in Jamaica. That's why we don't celebrate that over here.
Hell no. There's a few.
Oh, I mean, your group doesn't, but majority of people do. That's the reason why rap is so popular.
No. Stop. The majority of Black Americans, we don't do what rappers do. We don't buy their
No, do what rappers do.
But we
you
don't
do what rappers, but you celebrate them. You look up to them.
Stop. No, we don't. It is called entertainment, bro. We enjoy the lyrics, the beat, the flow. But ain't none of us looking up to them. Ain't none of us got quotes. Yo,
I was in New York City when 50 Cent came out.
Yeah, so he's a celebrity.
You ain't no way you gonna tell me that people didn't believe that. Ain't no way.
I was there. Y'all got it mixed up. Y'all worship Vibes Cartel, but ain't not. Yo, for example, if 50 Cent touched a kid, well, hold on, just listen real fast to let you know that you're lying. If 50 Cent touched a kid or did something illegal to somebody, hurt somebody in a violent way, we're going to call the cops on that fool and get him locked up. All right. Look how much we loved, let's say Diddy. But look what happened to him. We left. We loved R. Kelly. So you're lying. We loved R. Kelly.
Dude,
wait. Just stop talking.
R. Kelly, this video came out. I was in high school when that video came out, and no one did anything about that video.
I gotta mute you, bro. You're not listening because you're talking, and we're not like y'all. Y'all definitely not like us. When no matter how much we love R. Kelly and even Michael Jackson to a degree, we fell back from him. So when our celebrities get that stain in the media for doing something like horrendous, heinous, we for the most part back off and we let them hold their own nuts. So Diddy right now, we love Diddy, but right now he's in jail rotting. We love whoever else, but once they get to that trouble, we back off for the most part and we look at them a little differently. Y'all look at Vibes Cartel as a goddamn superhero. This guy is alleged to did the most heinous things in the world of mankind, and y'all look at y'all entertainers as heroes. That's not us. Once we'll like you, but once you do something dumb like Jamar, we be like, dude, the hell you doing? We'll like you till you fuck up. So no, bro, you got that totally wrong. And now you're telling me I can't speak for Jamaicans, but you're trying to speak for FBAs, which is hypocritical. That's not me to
I
ask.
never said anything.
Hello?
Can I talk?
But you're telling us how we look at entertainers. We don't look at them like that, bro. They look at them as, for the most part, we never meet them, by the way. We never, ever meet them. They just be TV figures that we just, hey, oh, my guy's lifestyle is cool. Or her, look how beautiful she is. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, can I talk?
Go ahead.
That's my whole point with you, with what you're saying and what you're doing. You don't understand anything. You will say people look up to Vice Cartel, but we look at Vice Cartel the same way you look at Diddy and all of that. But you were saying this and you have no idea.
That was cheering like hell when he got free.
Oh, because certain people did that. The way that if TV to come out, certain people are going to cheer for that. Those people don't represent everyone, so that's the same thing I'm telling you. You
so
do the same thing you're accusing me of doing.
Okay, so don't use that on us. Then you see how that works. You said don't use that crowd for everyone, but you're using that crowd for everyone over here. See, so you got to take.
I didn't say FBA. I didn't say you. I was talking about African American in general. Don't you believe?
No, we don't.
You believe that all African Americans are the same group? Because you don't know us enough. Umar Johnson, he believes in something different.
But you don't know us enough, bro. You don't know us enough to make that assessment. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, just by your action alone.
Well, I grew more than 30 years in America. You never spent a day in Jamaica.
Right,
that's a lot
but
different.
Here's the difference, though. Bro, your accent alone would not get you to certain doors of conversation within a Black American family. Your accent alone, we won't say certain things in front of you. You do know that, right? Your accent alone reminds us you're not one of us. So we're not going to tell you, we're not going to give our political views around you. We're not going to give you.
What I was telling you about division. This is exactly, you're proving my point.
How?
What does that get you? We're saying that your accent alone is not going to get you. We're not going to say stuff in front of you.
I don't know how you took that, what I just said, but it might be
That's
wrong.
what you just said. What,
brother?
And I was telling you that I support you guys. You're telling me that my accent alone, oh yeah, you're not with us.
No, I said your accent, brother. Come on. I got Spanish friends, right? But I'm not Spanish, so they're not gonna say everything how they feel in front of me. Because I'm not like them. I'm not offended. I kind of expect that. There's some white guys in the gym that I'm cool with in the gym. But if they invite me to, their pizzeria or whatever, there's certain conversations they're gonna have with me and certain ones they're not. And they damn sure ain't gonna talk about their political ideas in front of me. So that's all. So what I'm saying is, like, there's a filtering system. There's art. You're claiming you're in this country with us, so you know us. I'm saying you don't. You only know what we show you. Just like I only know what my Spanish friends show me. I only know what my Caribbean friends show me, but I don't really know. I'm from New Jersey, bro. You got a New York number, so yeah, you already know there's a lot of intermingling.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So if you say you were like me and you spent 30 years in Jamaica, you don't think you would know what's going on there? You think it would be the same thing?
That's a big difference. I would know what's going on.
You really think so?
So let me answer the question. Okay, so you're mixing and mingling. I would know what's going on a little bit, but I won't know the mindset of Jamaicans because I'm not Jamaican. So I will never know how they really feel about certain things.
If you live there for that time, you don't think. So
okay.
What would be the difference between if I was born in America?
All right, let me ask you this.
And I spend the same time in America. I don't understand. What's the difference?
No, it won't be no difference if you was born in America. The difference would be if you came to America before 1965 in the South. That would be the difference. See, you guys are not Southern experience, right? And that's what we could see through that right away. You're not Southern experience at all, none of y'all. Because when y'all came here, y'all came to the North for the most part, New York. Okay, y'all didn't come to Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas, Virginia. You got so without that experience, you would never know what it is to live like a Black American. Just like if I was in some part of Jamaica, but I never experienced Kingston, you guys can say, yeah, but you really ain't experienced Jamaica. Same thing. So it don't matter if you was born here. The fact that you're not, you don't have that lineage that came from the South at the most violent time in America, that alone would shape your mind differently. That's why you don't really have too many like you could say like rebellious Tupac type of Jamaicans over here. Like y'all be happy as hell. Like I'd never see a Jamaican person or a Caribbean person or African person talks about how much they hate white supremacy. Like show me that YouTube channel so I could see one. But that's how we normally talk. Like the Dr. Khalid Muhammad's and people like that. That's how we normally talk. That's not how y'all talk. Y'all be happy as hell and happy-go-lucky. So like we have this anger.
No, they're not happy-go-lucky, but I know what you mean because they can't speak that way because they have to say right now. Because if I come to you, you will tell me I'm not part of you. So how can I treat that way when you're telling me I'm not part of this way? If I say, all right, no, we're all Black. Okay. So we all need to come together. If I say that, you're saying I'm just happy to be.
Okay, but you gotta stop mixing messages. We are all Black, and at some point we should come together. Nothing wrong with that. But right now ain't the time. Right now we need to get our eggs together, and we need to organize ourselves first. This ain't the time to be all inclusive. All right, we need to get our stuff straight amongst ourselves. Like you just said, we worship celebrities. Exactly. That's the exact reason why we need to kick everybody out and come amongst ourselves, huddle up and get it together. And then we can go out there and be a better ally to you and the rest of the world. So you guys have no issue with us saying, yo, let's delineate, let's get ourselves together so we could be a better ally to our Black family across the world. Because right now, our minds aren't right. We're easily manipulated by people like DJ Academics and Q from World Star.
So why you point to them only? Why are they the figure that you point to the most when you have tons of Americans that does the same thing?
That does what?
Destroy the culture. What do you mean? Promote violence, promote nonsense.
Listen. I don't know too many Black Americans who got rich and famous off exploiting Black Americans. I don't know too many, but I know dozens of Caribbean and Africans who came to this country and got rich by exploiting Black Americans. That's the difference right there. That's one big difference between mindsets, how we feel about ourselves and what we're not going to do, and how you guys feel about us and what you actually do when you get over here.
Like I said, if you look at one person and you say all people are like that, I don't know what else to tell you. If DJ African represent all Jamaicans, I don't know what else to tell you.
Hey, bro, the word all didn't come out my mouth, by the way. And I just said, it's real simple. It's not even a beef with us. This is what we're saying for the most part, okay? Generally, we're saying stay out of our business when we talk about reparations. Keep your opinions to yourself, okay? Keep it to yourself. Or you can have your own opinion, no problem. Just don't try to represent our stance on reparations. And don't put your hand out in our cookie jar, in our reparation cookie jar. That's one. Secondly, we're saying be proud to be Caribbean. Be proud to be African. Stop cosplaying as a Black American, as an FBA. Be yourself. Nothing wrong with that. If I go to Jamaica,
my key question was to you. So you say 1950, whatever it is that you said, that's the cutoff point. So no one after that could say they're African American. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, y'all can say that all day. We don't care about that. You can't say you can't say you're ADOS or Foundation of Black American. That would be historically incorrect and by biologically incorrect. So you couldn't make those two claims. You couldn't say you're ADOS or FBA, but you could say you're African American. You could say you're Black American. We don't got a problem with that. See, you're like mixing up what we don't have a mind, what we don't mind and what we mind. We don't mind you guys saying you're African American or Black American. Now you can't say you foundational. You can't say you're ADOS. You can't say you're a free person because that would be a lie. Right?
I just represent that we're Black. That's all I say.
Yeah, we are Black. There's nothing wrong with that. Be Black and proud, and also aren't outside of being Black. Aren't you a proud Jamaican?
Jamaican. Well, there's no problem with that. Well,
now I'm asking you: are you a proud Black man?
Yes, I'm proud to be Black.
Okay, are you proud to be Jamaican?
But do you understand that Jamaicans have many different races there, right?
I got you, but I'm asking you: are you proud to be Jamaican?
I am Jamaican.
Are you proud to be Jamaican? You could say no. I'm not making you say yes. Are you proud to be Jamaican?
Yeah, I'm proud to have whatever experience I have right now. So whatever I am, I'm proud to be that.
I'm saying, but your lineage goes back to Jamaica, right? Maybe you're not proud. I'm sorry. I kind of thought you guys were proud to be Jamaican.
Yes, I'm proud to be Jamaican if that's what you want to say, but I know we.
That's what you want to say. No, I'm saying, if you're not,
I know what you're trying to get at.
Why? When I ask them questions, they're always saying, "What are you trying to get at?" I don't. When you ask me questions, I don't say.
No, I know what you're trying to get at because I heard it before. Come on, I know.
Okay,
but it's not because I want someone to explain to me like.
Okay, just hold on one second. Just give me 2 minutes to say something. Just 2 minutes. Chat.
Okay.
He said he was proud to be Black. He did not want to say he was proud to be Jamaican. And look, I'm not trying to force him to say he's proud to be Jamaican. Bro, you might not be proud to be Jamaican. And I can really believe that based on the research I got. I can really believe you're not really proud to be Jamaican. And that's okay. But I'm proud to be foundational Black American. And if I lived in Jamaica, like you said, for 30 years, guess what? I would still be proud to be foundational Black American. I would never say I'm Jamaican. I would say I respect you guys for being Jamaican, but I'm not that. I'm not like y'all in that sense. I'm FBA. I got a different lineage, different history, different experiences, and the world looks at me differently than a Jamaican. Okay.
So would you ever live in a different country?
Hell no. I have no passport.
And why is that the case?
I'm never getting one. I have no passport. I'm never getting one. I would never leave this great country. Just like you don't want to leave. You don't want to leave either.
But people trying to be, people act like all race does this. They come to America and they compare America to like their other country, but they only do it in one aspect. They like comparing it with Canada, they like, oh, you get free healthcare, you know. Or if it's somewhere else, they only do one aspect. But you know, totally like I don't. If I thought another country was better, I would live in that country, wouldn't I?
I wouldn't. I would.
I don't know why anyone would come here complain.
I wouldn't. I would help build my country up where we're just as good or even better. I would not flee.
You can't. It's like saying something that's not possible. You understand how small Jamaica is, right?
Yeah, and Japan is small too, right?
Not even the same realm. Japan is like so much bigger. You understand? Jamaica is tiny.
So what does that got to do with anything? Jamaica's tiny. Okay, what's your point?
Jamaica has no resources to be built up that way.
Bro, you got petroleum. Stop. You got petroleum. And
They don't have any resource. Come on, be honest. You were saying this, but if we're in realistic aspect,
if you got no resources, if you have no resources, then what the hell the British was extracting from your homeland? If you got no resources, then what were the British extracting from Jamaica?
Your British was using like a connection point. They was using Jamaica as.
No, but they were extracting.
That's where all the shit stuff that.
Yeah, but they were extracting actually stuff from the land. Are you not aware of that?
But you know, it's like me saying, which country in Africa have all
No,
like you know,
that's not the same. You just said you have no resources. Jamaica got plenty of resources.
If they don't have it anymore, they don't have it. You understand?
Okay, so where do resources go?
Say it again.
Where did the resources go?
All Jamaica produces sugar. You know that's it.
Say that again.
All they produce is sugar.
Bro, do y'all have petroleum?
Like they don't have any resources. Come on, they can't compete. It's like you telling me to go back to, you know, like you telling me something that's fictional.
Bro, there's nothing fictional about you going back to your homeland and help building it. Bro, there's so many countries
that got fictional that you would think it would be.
Europe don't have no resources, but Europe knows how to build their stuff up and then go import, export. See, y'all thing is y'all got to stop making excuses to flee. Y'all got to really.
Let me ask you a question. In like 100 years from now, what do you think Europe is going to do? What do you think they're going to go down?
Oh my God! Now we wishing bad on my homeland, brother. I'm wishing your homeland does great and build itself up. You're hoping my homeland fails. That ain't cool, bro.
Say it again.
Why we got to go down? Why you wish my homeland go down?
No, I didn't say America. What are you talking about?
Okay, who should go down? Who?
Oh, I said Europe. I said not America.
Okay, so Europe gonna go down how?
They don't have any resources. England is doing terrible right now. Do you guys know? They doing really bad.
Europe is doing bad?
Yes.
Okay. That sucks for them if that's the truth.
Yeah, because they can't take advantage of people anymore. That's all the British used. That's all they did.
Well, I don't know, because when they were at World War II, right, and when they reached out to the Caribbean to help build their country back up, they didn't force you guys. You guys fled over there so fast to help build up Britain back to a superpower. So they didn't take advantage of nobody. You guys felt like that was the opportunity to level up. You guys ran in droves to help build the European nation back up.
All right, so this is why I say Jamaican is like a fake independent. British still control them. Oh, did you talk about Vice Cartel earlier? Oh, did Vice Cartel get us?
Hey, brother. What? Okay, so if it's fake independence, is that flag BS?
If you want, people use it to represent the country, but Vice Cartel
no, they
out
use it to
the
represent
British government.
No, wait, they use it to represent the independence of the country, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it's not really independent, then the flag is a false representation of independence, right?
Hey, if you want to put it that way, I guess you could.
I'm asking. No, I'm all right. Well, no, this is based off what you're saying, because the flag represents the independent state of Jamaica, and you're saying Jamaica is not really independent. So I'm saying that I'm asking the obvious question. Okay, then the flag is a false representation of the independent state of Jamaica, right?
You could put it that way. I'm just telling you what happened.
Wait, so is that flag,
other countries?
Okay.
One more question. Have a logical conversation. You asking me a question. Let me ask you a question.
Wait. One more question.
If you're independent,
do you have a
can I ask you a question?
Yes, you can. Right after this, do you have a Jamaican flag in your home?
I don't think so, but.
All right, yeah, you my man. But go ahead, ask me the question. Yo, you stand on business. You say I ain't going back. I ain't thinking about them. They can hold their own mess. All right. So, what's your question?
I said, is someone independent if another country could come in and tell you what to do?
Now, I agree with you. But what's your question with me?
No, that was the question. Like, that's what I'm telling you. They told them like, "Oh, Vice Cartel, the trial wasn't fair. So give him a new one." That's what they did. They did that. The British government did not. That wasn't Jamaica that did that. You know that, right?
Yeah, but what was your question for me? What was your question for me? You had.
No, that was the question. Like, you're not independent if another country could. I was asking you. That was the question.
Okay, well, I was going with what you guys say about the country. You guys, I heard some proud Jamaicans talk about how prideful they are and that they're independent. And now I'm hearing you're not really truly independent. Y'all just was cosplaying as an independent country. That's interesting.
Because people are not realistic. A lot of times people tend not to be realistic.
So why don't you guys fight for true independence?
They don't have the power.
You don't need power, bro. You need numbers, bro. But you got the power, bro. You outnumber white folks 20-1. Stop it. You would trample all over.
Say it again.
You outnumber white people in that country like probably 40-1 now, because 20-1 back in like the.
No, against Britain, not the white people. I'm talking about against Britain.
No, but you don't need white people. You could just take over your own country. You can do what you want to do in your country. You can build stuff in your country. You don't need Britain help at all. You could just build your own country.
All right. So the government, like America does this a lot, right? Say, for example, they like, all right, if you gonna, not gonna listen to what we say, we're gonna take this thing that we gave you guys. So they would have, these little deals that they have, and they would take it away if you don't actually listen. That's how the system goes.
So it sounds like to me you're playing the victim, where you're like just victim, where you don't want any accountability. Bro,
So what do you think? So what would you do as a nation if you run Jamaica? What would you do?
Well, the first thing I would do is kick out all the degenerates, and I will stop allowing the brains of the country to leave. I'll say no more. We're banning the brain drain. But you can have these degenerates though. You can take just like British did with their illegals and criminal element. Like they flood them into America, and like what was that, early 1800s, they fled them into America. They say, hey, you could take our degenerates, but you ain't taking our best. So they let their criminals come to America. If I was Jamaica, I'd do that. I'll say, listen, Cuba does the same thing. Cuba sends their criminals over here, not their smartest. So if I was Jamaica, I would do the reverse action. I'll stop sending my best to America and Canada and the UK, and I will send our worst over
there. Okay. But let me ask you a question. What if the people in the country prefer the worst people?
And that's a serious problem, my boy.
That's a serious problem. I told you that But that's what I was telling you. The guy on, that I was talking about therapy, he's fighting to change the mindset of the people, because that's what you need to do first. You remember earlier said,
"Hey, brother, you had Garvey, right? Garvey changed our mindset way back in 1930 sometime when he came back to Jamaica. But y'all mindset already been changed. Okay, you guys like to be, I don't know, mistreated or whatever. You guys like to be dependent on other people to feed you and clothe you and give you work. I don't know, bro, but that's not cool. The minds, it's 2025. The internet is everywhere, even in Jamaica. Y'all should not have that mindset, bro. There's something going on.
What mindset? What did I say though? Because I said, what if people prefer people, because that's the culture. That's what culture is. If you not literally, if you know anything about Jamaica, if you haven't killed two persons, people say you are a punk.
But hold on. So y'all culture is wanting the worst people in charge of the country.
That's what I'm telling you. They also do this thing. When I was like, I think when I was like 20, 21, 22, they're like, yo, you haven't having a kid yet? What the hell is wrong with you?
Bro, that's crazy. So what y'all should do, okay, so now let me give a solution. So what y'all should do is this. If y'all have that going on, y'all should, when y'all come over here, y'all should be more on code with us. Y'all should be sitting back there and saying, FBAs, we support y'all, we rock with y'all, we're an ally. Instead of dividing yourselves with us, dividing our communities, y'all should be assimilating to our communities and trying to help us when we do stuff. Like when we have our rallies or riots or protests, y'all should be out there.
Isn't that what I've been telling you?
Yeah, but y'all haven't been doing that. So y'all should have been doing that, and y'all should broach our flags out there with y'all to let America know and the other countries know that, hey, Jamaica is standing behind Black Americans, FBAs. But you guys don't do that. You come over here and you feel like, whoa, I'm gone. The boogeyman is in Jamaica. I'm safe. Now let me take that degenerate behavior mindset here and let me start talking bad about FBAs. Let me start telling them to get up. You need to walk. And y'all lazy. And that's how y'all be talking when y'all come over here.
People talk bad about people in general. People just do this on the regular.
No, nobody comes to somebody's home and talks trash about them, bro. That's not regular. People respect. We have something called Southern hospitality. No, we don't do that. We have something called Southern hospitality that prevents stuff like that. So no, we don't do that. Wrong.
You say you grew up in New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
In New Jersey, I'm on the West Coast right now, right? Yeah. In New York, for sure, people are more upfront with you. I prefer when people are upfront and let me know that they don't like me instead of when
why don't they like you? What are you doing that they don't like you?
No, I'm just telling you. You say Southern hospitality.
I don't have that. No, but I don't have.
Like, I don't want people to pretend.
That's not what Southern hospitality is, bro. You know what hospitable means? That means that's genuinely in you. Like you just love your neighbor. It's not fake. Fake is at your job when that white woman smile at you and wave. That's fake. Or Bill shakes your hand and say, "Hey man, how's it going?" That's fake. but there's nothing fake about Southern hospitality. It's straight genuine.
I know what you're saying, but
people will literally try to pick you up as you're walking. They'll try to pull over and pick you up. That ain't fake.
What I'm saying is, when we in Jamaica, or when I noticed in Jamaica, they talk bad about other Jamaicans. When Americans, they talk bad about other Americans. But what you were saying is that because I'm Jamaican and I come to this country, I can't talk bad about Americans. I get what you were saying. And at the same time, people tend to like whatever about something about someone, they use that against them. That's what humans, we all humans, that's what people do. So people are going to do these things. But because we're from a different country now, you use that as in like, oh, Jamaicans don't like Americans or vice versa. That's how it usually tend to be, you know. Because my earlier story is telling you, like, I immediately have a problem with Americans. Later on, I lived there for around like 10 years later. We like best friends now.
All right, so this is what I want you to do, right, to make this call productive, right? So I want you to leave this phone call knowing that FBAs don't think about Caribbeans like that in a negative way. We don't think about Africans in a negative way. We're just proud of who we are, and we would like it if you guys just stay out the way. If you guys want to help us, kudos. But if you wanted to just not help us but stay out the way, we're fine with that too. But we don't want you guys cosplaying, pretending you guys are one of us, and getting in a position of power to, again, portray us as this primitive people that white supremacy once tried to do during scientific racism. And this is the DJ Academics, this is the Qs, the Shade Rooms, all these different people out there. I think it's Kendra G. Is she FBA? I don't know, but she kind of do the same thing. Yeah. So as long as y'all stop doing stuff like that, you know, everything will be all good. So I don't want you to leave this phone call feeling like we think about you a certain way. We don't think about you at all. Actually, there's not enough of y'all in America.
But this is I have a different mindset than people. If I had a bad experience with you on this call right now, I wouldn't
we don't have
take that in like, no, I'm just saying, I'm speaking in general.
But that's a bad analogy because we don't have a bad experience with you guys. We don't.
No, I know what I'm saying. What I'm saying, I'm just giving you in general speaking, as in if I did. I'm not saying you did or not. I'm saying if I did, I wouldn't take that into my next.
No. A bad experience. No, sir. You ain't gonna trick me with that one. If I'm being profiled by police officers in my city, and it's not just one. It's more than enough. At some point, I gotta say, yo, the whole police force corrupt. Even though every cop might not be corrupt, but it's enough to create a system of police brutality or racial profiling. So sometimes enough could be a certain number of them. So again, if DJ Academics is out here shining the light on Black Americans, always in a negative light. Look at his stuff now. All this stuff is drama, never anything good.
Oh, you went somewhere else. That's not where I was going at, but
yeah,
go
but
ahead.
That's where I was going to. That's where your analogy was pointing at. So I just
No. That's what I was going at. I'm just saying that even if I had a bad experience talking to you right now, I wouldn't take that into my next person with someone in the same group as you.
Saying that,
I wouldn't do that.
So maybe I'm lost because why are you saying that? What's the point behind that? Are you just saying something random? What does that got to do with our conversation?
No, I'm saying I didn't have a bad conversation talking.
Oh, bro, okay, cool. You're not supposed to, but I won't grab a bunch of king cobras and try to wrap them around my neck. Like, I just can't say something random. What I won't do. It's like, bro, let's talk about what we're talking about. Like, make sure everything you say is relevant to our discussion. Because I'm like lost where you're going, and then you're not going where I think you're going, and you blame me like I'm not going there. Well, let's stick to things that we can relate to based on this phone conversation, okay? Because what you just said about the bad experience, I'm trying to see how that relates to our phone conversation. And
because you earlier said, you said, if we're going to leave this conversation with a positive and you go on and you speak, and I was saying even if I didn't, I wouldn't take that into my next relationship with someone affiliated with your group. That's what I would say.
Okay. So when you see these channels, these Jamaican channels, disrespecting FBA's aid of Black Americans, are you going to call in and voice your opinion to them and say, hey, I disagree. Like, what you're doing is wrong. You know, that's wrong to just...
I literally, I don't even know, oh, you pop up on my thing. I don't even know. I normally don't see that.
Bro, I popped up.
But if I did, yes.
Look, I popped up because this was due, right? You had to have this experience. And this was the right time. This was the right time. So now, the things that I showed on my live podcast, do you agree with anything or disagree?
There was a lot going on, so you know.
Right. So what stuck out?
When the Jamaican guy came in, and I know he was the last one in. I heard. I mean, I think he was speaking similar thing to what I'm saying, but he's just.
No, he wasn't.
He's doing it on a negative level, as in like everyone is bad.
Isn't that different though? If he's saying from a negative level, it ain't the same that what you're doing. Because if you're being positive, then that means he's being negative. Therefore, it's not the same.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, if I say I love everyone, that's kind of meaning
nobody's gonna say that. You know, don't forget. Let's talk about things that is relevant to the conversation. So I won't, you know, be confused where you're going. So yes, the Jamaican guy that called in, right? What did you agree that he was saying?
That we all do the same thing.
Like
what I don't, you know.
Explain. We all do what? That's the same thing. But what is that?
No, we already had the discussion already about it, so I don't want to go.
Okay, well, don't say it again.
Into it.
Yeah, but if you say it again, I'm going to ask you again. Like, what is this thing we're all doing? Because maybe I disagree.
No, criticize. You know, talk bad about each other. That's what you know.
Don't talk bad about each other. Wait, how is? Okay, what did I say that was bad? Everything I played and everything I talked about from an African or Jamaican or Caribbean stance was actual history. When I went over your history, we said jackets. You agree? I said, you got any jackets? You said no. And we agreed what a jacket was. That's Jamaican culture, right? So when I talked about the homeland not being good, you agreed. You said there's no resources. You said that land mass is inhabitable. So you agree with me that nobody should be there. That's why you said you're not going back. And it's bad. Then you said the mindset of people are terrible. Their mindsets got to change. I agree. I said the brains of the country left and the degenerates are left there. So we agree with everything I said so far. You agree with everything I said about Jamaica. So what? So I don't get when you say we are doing something negative.
When you say you were thinking I'm talking about you. That's why I'm so lost.
But who are you talking about?
I'm not talking.
All this indirect.
You know, when he was speaking, he was speaking about not you. He wasn't speaking in people in general.
Okay. So what was he doing?
So that's the reason why I didn't even want to go into what he was like discussing, because it's like going around the same thing.
Why you bring it up?
But when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking that you were saying these things, because you never said any of these things.
Okay.
But
so
you don't responsible for what everyone else is saying. I can't say that you said what everyone else is saying. So when you said, "Oh, I have a bad experience with someone," that was your like what? I can't say that you did that.
Yeah, but that was your analogy about bad experiences. I'm happy. I'm over here. I'm happy. I'm chilling. I'm happy. So that's why I asked you, what did you agree with that I said?
You just said all the stuff we agree with. So
Say that again. What'd you say?
Oh, you just repeat all the stuff we agree with. So why would I need to repeat it again?
All right. All right. Let me walk this dog because he about to go crazy. Look, I'm gonna go live again in about an hour and a half. Right. Pull back up and call in.
Okay. Have a good day.
All right. Thanks for the call. It was good. It was a good dialogue.
Okay.
Peace.